Hello there. Oh, how you
What have we
doing,
got
everybody?
there?
Good evening, and welcome to another Claret and Booze Up Sunday session. So today we're going to be talking about the game tomorrow. A little preview of the West Ham versus Bournemouth game due to kick off tomorrow, 8 p.m. at the London Stadium. Nick will be joining us shortly. As you know, my name's John. And before we get into the crux of the issues surrounding West Ham in a minute, just like to say, if you do like the video, don't forget to hit the like button. If you like what we're doing, then please subscribe to Claret and Booze YouTube channel. Does us a massive favour. And if you hit the bell notification, you'll know as and when we go live or add any pre-records to the channel. So, Gary, how are you, mate? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm all right. We just back from the caravan today. Had a couple of nights away, so got drunk.
Yeah.
It's really the reason for going to the caravan.
Bingo and drink, yeah?
Yeah, not so much on the bingo. Just walking the dogs and drinking. That's all it was.
Walking the dogs, drinking and a bit of sly bingo,
yeah. And then sort of it was like a torrential downpour this morning, so we had to duck out the caravan double quick. But yeah, it's been good actually. Other than the football results, it's actually been quite good. So nothing's gone our way, is it?
Nah, we're going to talk about that in a minute. Obviously, it seems like everybody's winning now. I'm gonna obviously we're all going to talk about our opinions on West Ham, but also we're going to discuss the Premier League at the Premier League as it is at the minute. I know we're like only 11, 12 games in, but like there's so much inconsistency. You know, I mean, if you think about it, like apart from City. I mean, I know they lost to Liverpool, but Liverpool raised their game and they fell straight back down to earth again. You know, they struggled against us or beat us 1-0 just, and they lose to Forest. I mean, Arsenal have had a blip today. Probably, I mean, a point at Southampton is not a bad result, even though some people say it is for us, but it's not a bad result. Southampton ain't a bad side. You know, teams are getting on form, aren't they? So it's so tight down there, isn't it?
Well, it's tight all the way through, isn't it?
All the way through, exactly, yeah.
I mean, Arsenal have just edged ahead again into first place. That's after Man City. I think they've had back-to-back victories now since losing to Liverpool last week. Liverpool, God knows how they lost that against Nottingham Forest yesterday. Forest played, you know, pretty well, decent counter-attacking game, but that was similar to the game we had at Forest, where the ball just wouldn't go in. I mean, the number of saves tremendous, and it was amazing. And then some of the other results have just been odd. Aston Villa, 4-0.
Yeah.
Away.
Well, you know, I mean, it's you know, look, we know where we sit in the league at the minute.
Yeah.
Right. And we're going to go into it in detail. We're going to go into it in a minute in a bit more detail. But Nick, how are you, mate? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. Sorry, I'm a little bit late. I'm all right. We had a few technical issues. Gary's causing mayhem because he's lost access to his account or something. Said the show ain't there. I've quickly sort of run in because I was running late. Come upstairs. John's there. He's managed to find his way in, but not Gary.
Mate,
anyway, it still don't work. I'm on as a guest. I can't do anything. I can't even show a comment. I can't do anything. But anyway.
Oh, Gal, mate. Gal, don't worry about that, mate. I was a guest last night. I was allowed one phone call, and then he cut me off after about 10 minutes.
It's quite handy. I think that facility, that's how we should use John via the phone, because I can just dump him when he gives me the amp.
Yeah, you've got too much power, Nicholas.
I know.
Yeah, so
as you can see, I am the voice of reason today.
Really?
I'm the voice of reason.
Yeah, all right.
That's my name on the screen. Yeah,
of course you are. Of course,
I am.
Well, yeah. I mean, you did a really good show last night. If anyone ain't seen it with Grant and that was a good and
some good callers, weren't there?
A few good new callers that I listened to on the way home. Yeah. So it was, Look, listen, the chat's lively already. So you know, at the minute, emotions are all over the place. People say there's a division. I don't see it as a division. It's just opinions. It's football. Football's full of opinions, right? That's how I am, but I'm happier than most, I suppose.
That's fine.
So let's just go through the chat and see who's in. Well, look, who's first early doors? This old East side. He cannot wait for this. Straight back at him is another regular Barney McGrood, so Nick can dig Moyes out again. Oh, I had to pull that one in. But welcome, everybody. We're going to obviously, we're going to put up as many comments as we can through the night, but the chat's, as we're getting more viewers, which is great, the chats are getting busier and busier. But let's not get personal to each other, because at the end of the day, we're all here to support West Ham. And me and Nick can slag each other off till the cows come home, but we've known each other 30 plus years. Nick and Gary are brothers, but you people in the chat, try and keep it civil because it makes it
that's it. I mean, look, yesterday it always gets touchy. Emotions are running high, and we had a few. I don't know if you saw yesterday. We had a few issues yesterday. It's done. It was dusted. But the trouble is, it's very difficult for us to keep track of it when we're talking. So yeah, just try and. I know. Look, we piss each other off when we talk about it sometimes because when you've got different opinions. So it's going to be the same in the chat. Just try and not have rows. And just for all of you, for Gordon, where is it? Look, here he is. If you can all say hello and goodbye to Gordon, because that's the last comment he's going to be making on the show. Look. Fuck you, Gordon. Right,
Chris can't believe he's Nicholas. Chris, I know it's a Sunday, mate. I know it's a Sunday, Chris. Yeah. You should be wearing knickers. Who else we got here? We got Chris Harris. Good evening. Some of the comments about football and going forward, we're not going to put up just yet. Nick's outside Moyes Towers giving him grief. Jesus Christ. It's already gone there, isn't it? East side, there's no excuses, yeah? I just like to play devil's advocate sometimes. It's not excuses, all right? But tonight, East side, you might agree with me some places. We never know. We never know at all. So, yeah. Listen, let's cut to the chase. Obviously, Nick, you joined late. Gary had a little sort of talk about the results that haven't gone our way today. Pulled us back down to 17th position. Now, look, it ain't looking good. 17th position as it stands at the minute after 11 games for us and 12 games for everyone else. Our game in hand tomorrow. And look, we can sit here till the cows come home and say we're, 2 points off relegation because we are. But if we win tomorrow, we could go 10th. So as much as at the minute we're sitting pretty or not pretty at 17th, and I understand, I've said it myself, the football ain't pretty to watch. It's not exciting enough or whatever you want to call it. We're not as proactive with the ball. We are 3 points away from 10th. It's so tight, Dan. Well, it's so tight, the bottom half of the table, that it's ridiculous. Nick, what do you think about the results today?
It couldn't have gone too much worse. I mean, it was a Southampton one that done me. That them getting a bloody equaliser at Arsenal. I don't think I've ever kind of been sitting there.
It was at St Mary's. It was at St Mary's.
Oh yeah, no, I know. But against Arsenal, I'll just kind of sitting there hoping and praying for Arsenal to get a winner, which is probably a first time ever. But the Leeds one went our way, didn't it? They got pumped by Fulham.
Yeah, well, but
nonetheless, I don't think it really matters. It doesn't really matter. It's so narrow down the bottom at the moment. There's only a few. It didn't really matter what happened this weekend. We still wouldn't have been safe. It would have looked better on the table, but still, you're still kind of one bad result away from being sucked in. All we can do really is hope that we get a win tomorrow and we start to push up. Because if we don't, it isn't going to get any easier. After that, we've got Man United. That is a write-off. So again, we're gonna lose another 3 points there and have to hope that the teams in and around us don't get results. And then after that, you got the 2 6-pointers. You're going up against Palace, who haven't won away all year, enter West Ham, and then you've got Leicester, who look like they're finding form.
Yeah.
It's not. That's what I mean. I'm expecting a big performance tomorrow, and we need that because there's some teams out there now that are putting in performances now. They're not just grinding out fucking results. You got Leicester have just pumped 2 teams. They're looking good. They're playing good football. Those in the bottom 3. Villa just pumped someone 4-0 today. We that's what we need. That's what David Moyes needs. That's what we need to turn us around. You got to look at Bournemouth. We've got to go after them, and we've got to fucking not try and just grind out a win because at this stage, yes, we do need it. We need those points, but what we need more than anything is we need to fucking ream someone just to get that confidence going, and we've got the ability to do it, John.
Yeah, no, I look. We've been talking all day on WhatsApp, all weekend on WhatsApp, and one thing we do agree on, which is quite unusual, is that I want us tomorrow to take the game to Bournemouth. I don't want our usual standoffish start. All right, I want us to dominate from the off. We do have the players to do so. Yep. It's whether or not Moyes will go with a formation or a lineup that would enable us to take the game, and a mindset will allow. We're the home team. Look, as much as everybody thinks I'm Moyes in and all that, I am to some extent, but I've said it. I want us to be more proactive. I want us to take the game to.
Yeah.
It would be lovely for us to take the game to especially teams like Bournemouth, with all due respect, who we should be beating. But
we can't justify not taking the game to them. I don't think.
No, I mean,
what
I agree with you there.
something Tommy said yesterday, and it's a phrase that he's coined on his show, and what he's seeing at the moment. And I kind of like to think about it at first, but it makes sense. He's calling it poverty football. He said David Moyes has gone out and spent all of this money, but David Moyes is at his best when he's the underdog and he plays a certain style. We've been playing that same style this year. He's got to understand that now we've got better players and a better backup and a better bench than a lot of these teams. We've got a better team than Bournemouth. We've got a better bench than Bournemouth. Yeah. We should be setting out to go at them, and we should be. You know, don't give them the onus because any manager worth their salt coming to the London Stadium tomorrow, Bournemouth, they did it with Fulham. It almost went badly against Fulham. They'll say to them, these fans, they're going to turn. They're going to turn. Get out there, get after them, get that goal, get in their faces. The crowd will turn, and then you've got them. And that's what I mean. Moyes has got to kind of expect that, but you don't just sort of sit there and wait for it to happen, do you?
Gal?
No, you don't. I mean, listen. I think we've done this thing to death about what Moyes should be doing, right?
Yeah.
We kind of know what he should be doing. He clearly doesn't understand. You know, he's not in that same mindset that most of us are, and it is most of us. I know there are certain people who still maintain this "in Moyes we trust" nonsense, and he can do no wrong. He's given us 2 great seasons, the best, 2 back-to-back top 6, top 10 finishes, first in our history, brilliant. It's about the here and now. Last season, now, sorry to say, it's history. And the season before that is history. Yep. And, we really need to start. We need to start showing. We need to start playing a formation that uses the players we've got available to the best of their ability. And that means tomorrow going for Bournemouth and perhaps even maybe playing Antonio in the side alongside Scamacca because Paqueta's missing.
Yeah.
Right. So let's go for it. Balls out. This is an absolutely pivotal game tomorrow, and I feel really bad saying that, but it is because we're 4th from bottom, and even though it doesn't mean much at the moment, a trend can set in where you just get sucked in, right? Yeah. And we don't want that to happen. We want to have some clear space between us and those teams at the bottom. Even if we go halfway tomorrow, we're still only 1 win away from the bottom 3, right? So we'll make us comfortable. But is all I want to see, and we're all saying it. All 3 of us are unified on this for once, and that is, please go for it tomorrow, Moyes.
I think the thing is for me is that, like, I just want to pick up on something you said, right? And again, we can look at stats and we can look at the past 2 seasons or not, as the case may be. And what you said there is interesting, because what I would say is, okay, we can't remember the last 2 seasons gone. We've got to put them aside as the here and now. But then in the flip side to that is that people who are very unhappy with Moyes and possibly the people that want him out are using the back end of last season to back up their fact. And look, you have to go on some of the history because you hope that something can change quickly. And for me tomorrow, the most important thing is that we see a lineup that is, pushing Bournemouth on the back foot. We need to see players there who are going to put Bournemouth on the back foot and not allow them to become comfortable on the ball. Because we know, as an away team, the more of the ball you have, you will become comfortable with it. You go to an away team, you're the away team. But if you're allowed to dominate, you grow in confidence. And that's what I don't want to see.
When it comes to history, right? When it comes to history, this is how little it matters, right? There's no bigger example than this, right? When Leicester won the league with Claudio Ranieri, now they never dreamt of winning the league in a million years, but they won the league. They, what the biggest achievement for a side in this country, right? That was outstanding. Ranieri was fired about 15 games into the following season.
Yeah, some of our fans would want him employed for the next 56 years
because they made a rubbish start.
Because he won the league once.
Yeah, but that is the cut and thrust of football, and that is, if you're looking like you're going to get relegated and find your way slipping off the gravy train, then decisions got to be made.
Yeah, and apart from anything else we know, we've had these conversations ourselves. You know, there's someone in our group who knows about the West Ham finances. He knows a lot about the West Ham finances. West Ham can't get relegated, can they?
No.
It's going to be worse for West Ham than it would be for many other clubs.
It's going to be.
It is. He confirmed that we don't have the same match day revenue as other clubs because all we get are ticket receipts. They'll go through the floor. Yeah. We don't. We've got more. We've got heavier loans than a lot of other clubs as well. It would be catastrophic for West Ham. And what would happen? What the guy said was that we would end up selling all of our players and we'd have to start again.
But let's be honest. Any team that gets relegated generally has a clear out sale anyway. That's all I'd say to that, right? So the players will always, the majority of the players,
but the thing is, John, if that risk is there come halfway through the season, and the thing is, you can't really make that comparison because the comparison you just made. No, what I'm saying is, the comparison you just made, which was some people use the more people who are saying in Moyes we trust are the guys that refer to he saved us from relegation twice, he got us to a 6th place and 7th place. And then you say, but then, the people who are Moyes out, they use a back end of last season. I think it's two very different things because it's
still history.
It's a continuation, John. Wait, it's a continuation. There's been no break in it. We've been poor since December and there's been no blip. There's been no spike. It's been a continuation. The only thing that's been different is we've gone out and we spent 180 million and we've got fucking worse.
Well, I mean, yes and no. To some of them questions or opinions you had. I mean, look, I ain't making excuses for him at all. I'm not here to make excuses. I'm here to, we're agreeing on how big the game is tomorrow. Yeah. I don't think it's a must-win in terms of for relegation because we're lucky to some extent that the points and the teams
it's still early.
Are so close,
it's
right?
Still early as well.
But for me, as I said earlier to you two and in our group, I said, it's a must-win because others are picking up points and getting on a bit of momentum. We now need to get on that momentum train and win. And to me, tomorrow, we just have to be on the forward foot, Nick. So I agree with you, but I disagree in so much as you can't choose some history and some history not. That's all I've said.
No. What I'm saying is the difference is, John, that the history that we're referring to is facts. That's a continuation. That people saying, basically, it's like saying, but he saved us from relegation 2 years ago.
All history is fact. All history is fact.
But what we're saying is this is a continuation that has no bearing on the present. People are referring to things that have no bearing on the now. Do you know what I mean? And it's not. Okay. And look, and I get it. I do get why people love Moyes. I said it yesterday, and I'm not being condescending. Nobody can deny the great job that David Moyes has done, and nobody's trying to. But there does come a point, surely.
Yeah, there does.
If it's not working, which it just doesn't look like it is, then it doesn't mean David Moyes is a bad manager. It just means that sometimes you just need a change. It happens.
Yeah, listen. I agree. There will always come a point, right? But for me, because it's so tight down there, all we need is a couple of wins to propel ourselves up there. So what I'm almost doing is, I know he's not watching, but I'm almost appealing to Moyes, right? Because the thing is for me, I said it last night when I called him, my biggest fear is not getting rid of him. That's not my fear. Managers come and go. I get that. My biggest fear is who we're going to get in place because I don't think there's many available at the minute. That's my biggest fear at the minute, right? And that's
I don't believe it's like if you liken it to a relationship. If you're in an abusive relationship, you don't stay in that relationship just because in case the next one's worse. So it's what I'm saying is,
has Moyes been fiddling with you in that cupboard?
Yeah, he has.
I like to think that if they did give Moyes the bullet, that they'd already have someone lined up. I'd like to think that.
Succession planning, Gary. You would imagine that's already been done. You do it in the squad. You do it with players when players are coming towards the end of their career. We've got Areola in because Fabianski's, coming towards the end. You would imagine that there must be some succession planning going on behind the scenes. There must be people lined up. I'm not being funny. We've probably got people in the staff at the moment that could carry us for a couple of games. Look at Villa. Look at the reaction. Sometimes when you've got a manager who, when things are going bad like this, I can imagine him being quite a repressive character to quite a few players. So attacking players, he puts the shackles on. Now, I think that that immediate release, it might only be a short-term fix. That might be all we're seeing with Villa, where they've done stay. But it's that initial burst. It might give you enough. It might give players that are probably sick of him will be. Yeah.
I think you're right. But with Villa, you don't want to get sucked into that, and us, you don't want to get sucked into that little trap of, caretaker takes over for a couple of games, does brilliantly well, and then the players say, "Oh, we want him, give him a contract," and then within a couple of games, it's all turned to crap.
Because if you look at Wolves, they've got no successor in place because they've said that guy Davis can stay to the end of the season, I think, or January was it?
Yeah.
Villa's plans have obviously fell through because apparently they were after Poch and he's turned them down.
And
there's another manager that they're in advanced talks with. I can't think who it is now. It's a guy I've never heard of.
Right. Okay. So this is my fear. Right. Every manager that you get in is a risk. Of course it is, whether they've got a pedigree or not. But I don't want to go out there and get some unknown guy from overseas. No. I really don't. Like
Thomas Frank, someone like that.
Well, no, Nick, because he took them up from the Championship, didn't he?
Yeah, but he's unknown. There are good managers out there.
It was Championship.
I know. But what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, it all comes down to the fact succession planning. Where we went wrong last time was David Sullivan was in charge of recruitment, and he wanted to go out and get the big name manager. There was no other fault went into it,
and the fans loved it.
Yeah. But the big name manager, but we're recruiting players on a different basis now. We're recruiting with Rob Newman. We're recruiting players differently now. We're recruiting the sort of players that we need.
Agreed. Yep.
It will be different now. We would go out now. I'm certain of it with Kretinsky on board. David Sullivan, I'm sure he's past playing these little games now. He's tried doing that in the past. It hasn't worked. They would make a sensible decision this time. I think they would. They made a sensible decision last time when they got Moyes back in and they gave him an extended contract. That isn't a fancy fucking, you know what I mean? That's not a putting bums on seats type of appointment. No. They've done the sensible thing.
But he did put bums on seats with his,
but I think they're past that now. I do. I'm not worried about that. I don't care. All I'm worried about is the now, and I'm not happy with the now.
Apparently, Tuchel wants to stay in London. That's why he's not interested in Villa. That was the rumour. Yeah, he fancies himself for the England job after the World Cup, apparently.
Yeah. And Poch, really? Gary. Yeah. Poch wants to stay in London.
But Nick, Nick, I think you said it earlier. I think you said it earlier, Nick, and I agreed 100%. Poch will probably wait for the Tottenham job to come up.
Yeah, because it's coming, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's coming.
I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is a little bit.
That'd be fun. That'd be funny.
That's another example to sort of take it to another level. People we've been mocking Spurs. Spurs are sitting third or fourth in the league.
Yeah,
and they're losing. They're booing their manager. Now, in their defence, and this bearing in mind, I hate Spurs.
Yeah,
I literally detest them. But after this,
football is
Conte is worse than Moyes.
Yeah,
he's got all of that talent in his squad. Did you see him against Man United? That guy just fucking shuts up. He shuts up shop from the start. All he thinks he needs, because he's got Kane and Son. Well, he's right half the time. 2 or 3 chances in the game. That's all he's worried about creating.
Yeah, but he's done that everywhere he's managed, though.
Yeah, I know, but you need to get results.
Yeah.
Or the fans are going to get fucking sick of it because it's boring.
But Tottenham have listen. Conte's Tottenham have took him on knowing what type of manager he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
that's what I'm saying. So listen, they might come good. They're still sitting third. They're not exactly struggling.
They brought another guy in who's won a trophy wherever he's been, like Mourinho, to win a trophy for him at all costs, and it ain't working because it's Spurs.
Yeah.
I know. He has actually won a trophy in his first season everywhere he's been, hasn't he?
Yeah. But this is Spurs,
Yeah, I know. It's all gone wrong.
It's all gone wrong.
So they lost 2-1 at home to Newcastle, didn't they, today?
Yeah.
Got to say, I watched that on and off on my Sky Go, but Newcastle played well. They deserved
Newcastle
it.
are a good team, and they're another one.
Are a good team.
No, listen, they're another one, right? Yes, they're a big money powerhouse. They have not spent more money than West Ham yet.
They haven't bought silly, ridiculous money.
No, but they haven't actually spent more money than us. Not since Howe's been in. They haven't.
No, they've bought very well. And what I will say about Eddie Howe, he's got some of their underachieving players consistently playing well, like Almiron.
Yeah.
Almiron is a completely different player under Howe's. He's got confidence. Joe Linton, Howe's has put him in centre midfield.
Yeah.
He's been a sensation. Dan Burn, who's about 6'12", is playing left back. Now, I didn't know he could play left back, but he's brilliant at left back. I mean, I didn't see that coming, but Look, it's two different ends of the spectrum. You know, we spoke about Leicester, we spoke about Villa, right? Villa got rid of their manager, and they've had an instant success.
Instant reaction.
Leicester, but this is two sides of the story, right? Leicester could have, you know, they was looking to, you know, people were saying Rodgers should go a few games.
I don't think the ball ever were though.
No, I know, but the fans were pushing for Rodgers to go.
Yeah,
there was a lot of bad news in the press about him. People saying he should be fired. They've stuck with him and they've turned it around. So there's two different sides there: getting rid of a manager, seeing an instant success, or sticking with someone and giving him time.
But then
I'm not saying what we should do.
What I'm saying is, but then you're sticking with a manager that almost won the league with Liverpool, that absolutely shit over everyone for years in Scotland. No. He's a serial fucking winner in favour of a bloke who's never won fuck all, nothing. He's never won anything. So it's two completely different things.
No disrespect to Scottish football and anyone here who watches Scottish football.
Well, what about English football? But he almost won the league with Liverpool when he almost brought them back that year.
Almost is nothing.
He won the Charity Shield.
He won the Charity Shield. No, but what I'm saying is there is a difference between sticking with a manager and also the guy delivers football that the fans do enjoy when they're playing well.
Yeah.
That's a good comment. Yeah, I've got to bring this one up. It made me laugh a little bit. Obsidian curse. I'm not Moyes out, but if we can sell Bobby Moore, we can sack Moyes.
Fucking right and all.
What we got here? Newcastle were fourth. That can change in a week. Exactly that. It's so tight, Daniel.
I don't think they're going to though. They look good.
They do look very good.
They look worryingly good.
They look good.
Look very good. But they got a lot of pace in their team. You know, they got a lot of pace in their team.
Good recruitment. Good manager.
Garino says not Moyes out or in, but he can be frustrating as he is overly cautious and passive with one plan only, which he won't change to suit the players he has. See Haller and Anderson and Benny.
Absolutely.
Yeah, look, I get that. I mean, and obviously playing Bournemouth tomorrow. The last time we played them was on January the 1st, 2020, and we beat them comfortably 4-0. And Nick, what was the stat about that game that we discussed earlier?
Well, this was very early on in Moyes' stint, and this was the last. Well, apparently it was the first and only time that Haller and Antonio played together up front under David Moyes. We won 4-0. He binned it after that. I know there was an injury that saw that interrupted, that scuppered it, but he never ever revisited that ever. Never.
No.
You know,
it's a tragedy. It's a tragedy.
Yeah.
But does it show? Does it show he can do it? And do you think he will? I think he has to.
Does it show who can do it?
Moyes.
Don't know.
Well, he kind of did it the other night, didn't he? Right at the end when he bought Antonio. So hopefully, it's all these little clues I look for from Moyes. Like I thought he'd deem that illegal to have Antonio and Scamacca on the pitch at the same time. You know, clearly not. And he was talking about it after the game as well, about, you know, he might do it, he might play one. By the way, did you see Declan Rice's comments about Scamacca?
No.
Basically saying what a fantastic striker it is and how brilliant it is to have a proper striker playing at the club.
Oh God.
I was thinking, my God, how does that make Antonio feel?
Well, that's a bit sloppy, isn't it? It's a bit sloppy.
Yeah.
Well, but you say that, but I'm sure Antonio knows he's not a proper striker because, as we know,
if you listen to him on the podcast, he does consider himself a striker now.
Well, he's been what's the word? He's been manipulated into a striker by hook or crook. But you know, even he alluded to the fact last season in an interview that he needed and wanted some help. He said it himself. You know, so he knows he can only do so much, especially on his own. Apparently, Aston Villa are after Moyes.
Yeah. Listen, my initial reaction to what Rice said was that it wasn't that it's going to upset Antonio. No. It was that is the way him and Antonio and everybody talk within the squad.
Yeah, I wouldn't take it. I know what Nick's saying. Right? It could be seen as a negative.
Yeah. Kent Hammers has said there was one other. So Haller, Antonio, Bowen played a home game.
I think it was Southampton, wasn't it?
Yeah, but again, we won that one, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. That was only about 3-0, I think.
It was only about 3-0.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It makes, and when you look at that, it makes you. It's so fucking frustrating. It is. I don't get. And what you was going back to what you were saying earlier on, John. We was all doing that earlier in the season. That's why I reached the point after Everton where I threw my toys out the pram completely, and I've stuck by it because every single one of us on this channel were pleading with Moyes to do the right thing and drop underperforming players and help himself. Gary, how many times did we say, Moyes, help yourself, please? He was making obvious fucking errors.
It's the common thing, and that's exactly what we're saying now. Look, he's missing Paqueta tomorrow, but that's one player out of a very, very good squad.
He ain't set the world alight, Paqueta, since he's been in. No, it ain't like the fucking biggest loss in the world.
I know, but he's got options. That's what I'm saying. He's got options. I think Cornet's back tomorrow, and I think Dawson's still out, but he has got options from an attacking perspective. He's got Downs as well to sit.
He's got the bloke. He's probably got our most informed player. He refuses to start, Benny.
Yeah. Exactly. That's a straight swap for Paqueta, really, isn't it? Well,
absolutely.
Straight swap for Fornals.
Listen. Get into that point, Nick. You're right. We've all called for certain players to be dropped, throughout this season, right? Like I said, I think the fact that we've had so many injuries in defence, we have had a very, very unstable defence, and that. Because Moyes is a defender or was a defender, he builds from the back. If he's not comfortable with the defenders because he's having to play them because of injuries, even though
Kehrer and Zuma in most games, though. We've had Kehrer and Zuma in most. We've had Kehrer and Zuma in the majority of the games.
Yeah, hang on, but we've also had to play Soufal a lot because of injuries. We've also had to play Cresswell to some degree and play him as a third left centre back, and he's had to shuffle it around a lot. What I'm saying is sometimes your back four, if you're not confident in it, then he feels he can't change much. Or bring in the flair in front. But what I want to say about Paqueta
I don't see him ever doing it, John. I think
I
think his dream would be Spurs to be so defensively strong and have such good talented strikers that all you've got to do in a game is create 2 chances to win a game and never risk conceding. I think that is David Moyes' utopia, and it's never going to be the fans' utopia.
No, but it's a results business, right? So what I'm trying to say there is, at the minute, results ain't going well. We know, right? Generally, and we're in 17th position. So technically, you could say that his job's on the line. We don't know. We don't know what the board are thinking, right? But in the same breath, if we start winning games 1-0, shit ass in them, whatever one of people call it, then that's winning games and putting points on the board. So it's a bit of a
poverty football. We should be beyond that now.
No, but you're saying it's a results business one way, but then you're saying it's not a results business.
When did I say it's a results business?
People say that, not you. Sorry, people.
I think he's got himself into this rut, right? With us, I don't think this is reminiscent of the football he played at Everton. Everton were very, very strong defensively when they were at their best, and they were also very good in an attacking sense as well, and scored plenty of goals. So
the league was different back then, Gary. It was very different, and the game was different. He's still playing the same style of football.
Yeah, sure it was. Sure it was different. But I'm just saying, I don't think it's something that's genetic to him. I think it's something that he's kind of stumbled upon, and he needs to unstumble upon it.
Interestingly, the phrase there, "stumble upon something," I think that the injury to Paqueta before the Liverpool game, in my mind, as maybe, and I hope, because I liked the formation, I think it sort of made him stumble across the formation of Downs, Soucek and Rice in the middle. Yeah. And Nick, even you said, when we saw that on paper, or you saw how it played out to some extent, you was quite impressed with the formation.
The positions of the players on the pitch,
maybe not personnel.
I was comfortable with.
Not personnel.
No, I mean, look, don't get me wrong. It was a 4-3-3 at times, but then it was also a 4-4-2. Because Fornals was permanently regressed. And what that was doing was Fornals would drop back, and then Downs was almost playing as a right winger sometimes.
He was.
He was out on the right. So it was bizarre. We had 4 defensive-minded players behind 2 attackers feeding off scraps.
But what I'm saying is I thought the formation worked fairly well.
Yeah, but it's personnel though, isn't it? And they were set up right, John. And they were set up so it was all. But the thing is, when you play players like because defensive-minded players are very positionally aware, and they will kind of. So I think that was always going to be the case. I think when you looked at that lineup, we was never going to be easy to penetrate. Even though Liverpool were picking off fucking chances at will, they could have had God knows how many goals. Now they could have. John Nunes could have scored 4.
But they
in the first
absolutely half. Clear cut. They
was. He hit the post. He scored one. Hit the post once. Hit the post once.
If we shoot from distance, you say, "Oh yeah, but it's a shot from distance." When Darwin Nunes, whatever his name is, shoots from the edge of whatever his name is, when he shoots from the edge of the box, which is long distance, you say, "What a chance! Oh, it's another chance." Come on.
I reckon he had one other good chance. That was the one where he hit the post.
Nick made a story up that he had half a dozen, could have had
Exactly,
six by
yeah.
half time.
He could. What I said, am I wrong? On a better day, he could have scored 4.
Rubbish.
No. Sorry, I disagree with that one, Nick.
With a fair wind
they weren't
and whatever else.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, Ross agrees with me. Agree with Nick. Liverpool could have rumped us by half time. Thank you.
They made plenty of chances. But they were.
And all we do is we bang on about the 3 chances that we made in the game when they made about 15 times as many.
I suppose the difference is, when you look at our penalty, clear-cut chance. When you look at Souček's at the end, clear-cut chance. Right?
Also, the other one as well. When people were going on and on about Bowen, well, Moyes can't go out and take the penalty himself. Can you imagine how we would have come out in that second half if Bowen had tucked that away 1-1? Would we have come out and gone for it?
So you're glad he missed?
Would we have come out and gone for it, John?
Are you glad he missed?
No, but I'm just saying. But people are
but there's ifs and buts all the time, Nick.
They ain't ifs and buts. We know what Moyes does. There's no ifs and buts.
You saying he would have bought?
Show me what he does. Show me what he does. Tell me what he does.
He would have bought Ogbonna on for Scamacca at half time.
Andy Armit says Eddie Howe is a progressive and a very decent manager.
Yeah.
Craven Moorhead, who loves the Premiership. We also don't have owners who behead innocent people.
No, it's very true. It's very true. They do have, some dodgy owners.
That's a good point.
They did a little discussion. They did a little discussion about that. Did you see it pre-match?
Yeah. We should never forget that either.
The pundits on the pitch talking about the morals of it and all that.
Really?
Yeah, they had one of the Sky News reporters. Can't remember his name now, but he was talking about when he went to Qatar, the World Cup, they was talking about inclusivity, and they welcome all fans from over the world, LGBT plus fans and all that. But the very next day, they're, carry on normal.
I saw an interview on TV the other day with one of the representatives about Qatar, and he was trying to convince the interviewer by saying, yes, if 2 men want to come over here and hold hands walking down the street, they're very welcome to do so. It's like,
should we go then? Me and you fly over there, girl. Should we test it?
The thing is, in 2022, why is that even a question, right? It just shows you what a kind of what a dark ages place it is. And who's he kidding? If the world wasn't watching them, right, that would those 2 blokes holding hands would be locked up and probably flogged, maybe even a bit worse.
I know.
We had
moving on.
We had this discussion at the time, didn't we, about would we have wanted Saudi owners coming in? Definitely not.
Definitely not.
Well, you know what the thing is, Gal? I think football fans in the main, we're a very fickle bunch. Let's be honest. Yeah. And I think that, would we really walk away from our club because who the owners are? I don't know.
Well, look,
we wouldn't.
Probably not, John. But it would leave a very, very bad taste in my mouth. Yeah,
exactly that. That's what I'm saying. But you'd still probably go because it's
and then the FA Cup and then the FA Cup win would put a very nice taste in your mouth.
Yeah, but again, no. I'm that sort of person. It would leave a permanent bad taste in your mouth. It would.
But all money is dirty, I suppose. Some is dirtier than others. But look, they're all fucking crooks. These businessmen that own these. They are, aren't they? In one way, I know that's whatever. Let's not get into politics anyway.
No, let's not go politics.
So let's go through some comments. Mandy says we will need to break Bournemouth down tomorrow. So let's hope we only play 2 holding midfielders and 4 offensive. Are our 2 holding midfield players not good enough? I think they are. I think they are. I think obviously for me, I know Souček done okay against Liverpool. But I still think for the sake of winning the ball, turning it over and getting it moving quickly, I think you can't look beyond Rice with Downs, in my opinion.
No, you can't.
I agree.
I'm going to apologise as well. I've seen it. Look, Garino saying Nick's very negative tonight. I'm always negative, but if I'm over negative tonight, I'm sorry. I will wind it in. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. Chris reckons my blood pressure is very high for some reason.
Yeah.
I've had a very long day standing in the rain at Stevenage watching my boy play football. John says 4-3-3 all day long with a midfield 3 of Downs, Holding, Rice box to box, Paqueta. Yeah, but Paqueta's not available, is he? I think Paqueta's going to be out for longer than we think.
He's been training. He's been training.
If you read back through the comments that you've missed and snubbed, right? A few people said that he might be available tomorrow.
Yeah, Eastside said it, and there was a few others as well that were saying he's going to be available.
Yeah. I can't go up and down through the comments. Oh, I can go up and down through the comments.
Yeah, you can.
Sorry.
Can you load them up?
No, I can't load them up. I'm in as guest.
Right. I've missed
Gary doesn't have the power. Look,
I need to sort this out.
Yeah.
Is it bothering you?
I've got to sort this out. I need to talk to the people.
Well, I'll tell you what, John. You talk to people. I'll go for the chat. Go on. Where are you?
Talk to people.
Well, no. What? Because you're hosting, so I'll do the chat.
I don't mind doing it. I don't mind. I'll go on from here. Listen, if I've missed some comments, I do apologise. But
one fit centre back. What about Dulce? I also read today that Dulce is definitely leaving us. I don't know whether that means in January or in the summer. I hope he stays to the summer. And apparently his injury is hanging around a bit longer because he's constantly driving backwards and forwards to Manchester.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but there's problems there, isn't there?
There is problems there, yeah.
And
that's got to take priority.
Yeah,
that's got to take priority.
There's an illness in the family, which is why he wanted to go back in the first place.
Why are they not? Why are they not? Getting a helicopter,
private jet or something.
Yeah.
Well, get David Gold to. I know he used to have 2 helicopters. I don't think he's got one anymore, but I'm sure they know people in it. I'm sure David Gold knows people in the helicopter game, or a couple of mates who have got helicopters. Can't they fly him up?
Yeah, wouldn't that be threatening though? What Mandy G's saying there. If another manager came in and they played, if you played Antonio left wing, Scamacca, Bowen, and Benny, that would be terrifying because you've got such a mix of pace, power, trickery. It gives a backline so much to fucking worry about. And this is always my argument when it comes to, be cautious, be cagey. No, make the opposition be cautious and cagey. Go out there, set your team out so that they're looking at your starting lineup going, fuck this. They're going to have a go at me. Put them on the back foot. We've got the players to do it.
No, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Calm down again.
What about? I mean, there are different formations that we could play, but I mean, how would you put Antonio into the side? I mean, I would be tempted to have him in a front two. With Scamacca.
I don't care whether they're in the front two as long as they're in that front line together. So whether it's either side of him, so it's fine. You haven't got to go 2 up front, but stick him on the right.
Who would you drop? Say it's a front 3. Who would you play out of those? No,
Fornell's dropped. Yeah.
Owen, Benny, Scamacca. Who would you drop to?
Because there's a number 10, so I'd drop Benny into the number 10 slot.
You drop right.
I'll drop Benny into the 10. That's what I'd do.
What, and have Antonio left, Bowen right?
Yeah.
5-2-3-1.
No, 4-2-3-1. What we've been playing.
4-2-3-1. Yeah,
that'd be 12
players. Too many.
12 players. Yeah.
Yeah. This is 100% in it. I think Scamacca should be on pens from now on. Yeah, he hits the ball like a rocket. So international striker, he's got to be on pens from now on. 100%.
Definitely.
We all said that after the Bowen, didn't we?
Moyes said he might have a look at another penalty taker.
Telling me off. Look.
Yeah. Who's telling you off?
Nick is telling
Italian Gary.
If we lose tomorrow, Nick is going to explode. Oh no, mate. Do you know what?
Probably.
Though? No. But you know what? I'm not. I'm starting to react fucking less and less to these defeats now, or poor performances anyway. Because I'll get more wound up afterwards. I think I'll get genuinely upset after a fucking defeat now, especially when he's not done the right thing. You just like, fuck,
Welcome to the club, Will. That's how it affects me as well.
And then
I don't really get angry about it.
I get angry as the week goes on.
Yeah.
I think your anger, Nick, is more because people maybe justify their Moyes in the wrong way, if you know what I mean.
I think that's what it's not even that, because I said a lot of the time the reason I'm so vocal, and do you know what it is? Because we get it in our own groups. I'm basically just defending my opinion all the time.
No, but that's how you feel.
But that's genuinely what I'm doing. Yeah, so I end up going on the offensive because I'm just defending my opinion.
Yeah, but listen,
that is all it is.
Listen. There's 3 different views here. Gary is sort of intermittent between the two, mostly. Yeah. People say I'm Moyes in, and people say you're Moyes out. I get as much people in the chat,
Oh, no.
So what I'm saying is like everyone in the chat, like we said, you're not here to defend your point of view, because it's your point of view, and it's your point of view. I don't agree with everything you say, but I respect it. I might
thing
not
is,
agree.
you do question yourself though, because you know I do. You do
Well,
sort
you
of think,
shouldn't.
fuck no, but you do think, fuck me, am I getting this wrong here? Because there's a lot of people, an awful lot of people that I know and respect as well, that obviously have got a completely different used to. I've got a completely different opinion to me, and it does make you think. You think, what am I not seeing here? Because I don't see it. I physically don't see it. I don't see what.
I think we all react to situations in different ways, right? You react, you know, and again, there's no right and there's no wrong. Everyone's got opinions. Your opinion is just as valid as my opinion and John's opinion. But you know, that is your way of seeing things. You think he's got to go now. End of story. I don't particularly think he has to go now, but if he did go now, I wouldn't be against it. Right?
No.
That's where I'm at. I'll tell you when I think he should go, and that is if we're coming up to that World Cup break and we're still just a couple of points outside the relegation zone, then my mind's made up. Right?
Yeah.
That's 5 games away.
Ross has got a good point here, Gary. I think Ken. I saw look. Listen, I've not read into this too much, but Ken has got his own Facebook group, and I saw a post that he put up, and he said we're 4 American owners away from not even being able to contest the Super League. You know, it looks like it's going that way.
Mate,
they're going to do it.
This is a different kettle of fish over here. The fans, if something like that happened, the fans, a lot of teams' fans would walk away, mate. I'm telling you. They would. That's one thing. I really, truly believe that.
I mean, credit to all the big 6. Their fans did rear up, didn't they?
Exactly.
Yeah, they did.
Exactly that.
Apart from the Spurs fans, they was all for it, weren't they?
Well,
we're part of a special little club.
We're one of the big 6.
Yeah. They were just pleased to be invited, weren't they?
Yeah. What made me laugh, on their picket line, there was about 6 people, and they all had Spurs bags where they'd just been and spent loads of money in the club shop. And they was protesting against them. But
they just spent 300 quid each on Lily White. What's this one here? Interesting. Paqueta uploaded a video of him training on his own, apparently moving.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
okay. I saw that.
Okay, but I don't think he'll be available tomorrow. Though. I will be surprised if I'm honest.
Would he be fit? I mean, he's only you know, he should still be match fit, I suppose, to a degree.
Yeah, we're going to go into the starting lineup later on, Daniela. You know, Kent says, I think you brought him up last night, Kent, about Kent. He travels all over the country, doesn't he? If not Europe,
and Dodsey. He had a pair of them. Going
same
both.
as Dodsey. 1,000 miles travelled last week watching West Ham, and another 1,000 miles this week. I must have a terrible addiction. I love it. Look, Dawes, a legend of a man.
Yes,
be a sad day when he leaves. Yeah, I think I was probably the only fan who rated Dawson when he came in.
Be terrible, but we will always love him at West Ham.
He won a lot of fans over though, didn't he? After a while. Where are we? Klopp would not have subbed 3 of Liverpool's most influential players on the night if we had pulled it back to 1-1. He subs let us back in the game.
I agree.
Yeah, but whilst I don't disagree with that, so what? You take advantage of a manager's arrogance, or you take another manager's flippantness, whatever you want to call it. So maybe not.
No, but that was, I think we all agreed on that. I think that's how we saw the 2 up front. I think that was a clear insult from Klopp. But do you know something? At least Moyes did react. At least he did react because we had to, didn't he? You know,
but then the arrogance of the man, Klopp. Called it fate, called it whatever. He goes out and loses to mighty Nottingham Forest yesterday. So you know,
someone's put a spell on that ground, that City ground, because you know that was freaky the way Liverpool couldn't get back into that game yesterday.
Nick, you need to change your moniker. The last voice of reason on YouTube ended up in jail. I don't know who that is. Who's that? Who's you talking about?
Not sure. Take that back, Ross. He said so in some ways, Nick is like Moyes. Don't you dare. How dare you?
Refuses to change.
Yeah.
Set in his ways.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Your audio is gone. Is our audio gone, people?
No.
Ahmet says your audio is gone. I don't know. Maybe it's,
sorry,
Ahmet.
The numbers are dropping off as well. I don't know whether it's completely gone.
Don't know. Can you hear us?
Give us
a if you can hear us in the chat.
Let us know if you can hear us.
Just straight. StreamYard is fucking shit.
Yeah.
Mm,
No,
they
can't hear us. I'll
How
tell you
can he
what.
hear us then? If we asked him and he said no.
Yes.
Yes.
I'll have a look. Let me. I'll log in
No.
on my phone. Hang on 1 minute. 1 minute.
Right on the tiles. Right on the tiles.
Yeah,
Just tell us
yeah.
what
Audio's fine. Ross said yes. We can.
Fucking wind ups.
That was brilliant.
Armit said it went for 5 minutes.
Yeah. Oh no.
Armit, I muted you, mate, because you're so Moyes out. Sorry about that.
That's annoying, though, isn't it? Did it really go for 5 minutes?
No, that is really annoying. That is really annoying. Not as annoyed as you are, though, Nick.
No.
No.
Oh no.
If people can't hear you,
I'm gonna check now. 1 minute.
That's what Ross says.
Yeah. Oh right.
It did go
Ross,
for a minute and it came back. I can hear it.
Oh,
cheers, Serif. Nick's. I think Andy can hear us. Nick's moaning loud and clear. Yep, you can hear us. Yeah, that's a definite.
Yeah.
That's a definite indeed. Yeah, so look, results haven't gone our way today, this weekend, if you like, but we're going to win tomorrow, aren't we? What are we going for tomorrow?
I was answering as the audio gone, no, for fuck's sake.
What's that?
What are we saying for tomorrow?
Tomorrow, I don't know. You know, I'll tell you what. I'd like to think we'll line up and with an attacking formation and give them a good seeing too, and it'll be a nice, comfortable 2-0. Right, that's what I hope for.
Yeah.
But I do, you know, going back to a conversation we had on WhatsApp earlier, I do expect West Ham to beat Bournemouth at home.
You would, yeah.
As a West Ham supporter, I expect us to beat Bournemouth at home. Yeah. That's not a bad thing to expect, is it?
No, not at all.
I do think we'll win. I think this, you know, I think we could win. We could win 2-0, 3-0, because I do think they're there for the taking. I think that they're an attacking team, and they'll. I don't think they'll change the way that they play. I think I think we can beat them regardless. This is the annoying thing with them. I think we could beat them even if we do play the Moyes way. I think that will win. I think we could because I think we're better than them. I think we could you know, sit tight for 45 minutes and then knock them out the park in the second half. But it would be a shame to do that because, like I said at the start, I think that we all need. I want a good performance. You know, that would make me feel better. I think if we went out there and we really performed, we put some flair out there and we entertained at home, and dominated the team and battered them. Even if it ain't battered them on the scoreline, if we just battered them on the pitch, you know, chance after chance after chance, made loads of good chances and beat them, you know, 1 or 2-0, but it was a great game. I would feel so much better after that. I would.
So is result not as important, or is it more?
For me, it's on par. If we tomorrow, if we literally did nothing for 90 minutes and then got a smash and grab goal, I'd be relieved we got the 3 points. I wouldn't be happy though, not really. I'd be. It just means you've just watched another shit game, John.
Yeah, look. Like I said, I want us to win to create momentum, but it's not me being negative. It's not must win for relegation, but it is. I still think it's must win just because I want to get us up there, get on a little bit of a run. I know you think that with the fixtures upcoming, we're going to struggle anyway. Obviously, Man United away, Palace who haven't won away, you know, come to West Ham and win and all that. But, you know, for me tomorrow, it is important for me that he puts out the attacking players that we know we've got. And I think... Do you think it could be a situation now where the situation is forcing Moyes' hand to something he doesn't want to do, but he might do it now? I know he should have done it.
I don't think he's going to be that bothered by Bournemouth. I think, and do you know what? He's probably right. I think that Moyes can win, and it is. I know Nigel said they're playing the Moyes way. Yeah, because it is the Moyes way, Nigel. He doesn't do anything for 45 minutes, and then he has done it all season. He's done it against Villa. He's done it against everyone. Playing the Moyes way is that he plays half a game. He goes out in the second half to win the game. He could do that against Bournemouth and win, I think. But why? Don't we all need a performance? Would you not agree with that, Gary, John?
We do need a performance. I need a performance. I'd be in a similar boat to you if it was a Borefest and we nicked a 1-0 win. I'd be relieved, but at the same time, look, for me, it ain't all about the results.
No,
it is. Yeah, we make our way down to the London Stadium. You know, it's an effort, and it's more of an effort for many other people than me. In fact, I don't live too far away, but everyone makes the effort to trundle down to that stadium. At least you expect is to be a little bit entertained.
Yeah.
I don't expect miracles. I don't expect us to turn into Brazil tomorrow. But a nice, upbeat attacking performance from the off would be lovely.
You see,
just coming out. Do you know the way that Fulham came out and tore at us? Why can't we do that occasionally?
Yeah,
Out
exactly.
Out the blocks, tear at the other team.
And that's why we've been really bad this year. All through the whole season so far is we haven't started, I don't think, a single game really well, really fast.
No, I'd have to agree to some extent. We have been, the funny thing is for me is I don't remember starting so cagey in games last season. So
no, we didn't. No, this is what I'm saying to you. I think, John, I do feel, and I said this last night, I feel like David Moyes has regressed a little. I think it's the pressure and the weight of the spend, that he's got hanging over him. But it does feel a little bit to me like he's just scared now. It's like he's scared.
But okay, the way we were playing, which was more proactive than it is, and more forward thinking. Nigel used to always say, I think we scored in every home game. So great stats there, showed a bit of incentive. Yeah. Why would he suddenly regress? Where's the fear come from?
I don't know.
That's the strange thing. If that is to be true, that's why I don't really know.
I don't know. I mean, the other thing as well, what he did say, Moyes, is he said basically our counter-attack weren't working because we were quite an exciting counter-attacking team initially under Moyes. That's how we played. And then basically what Moyes said, and he's right, we've been figured out. Teams treat us with more respect now. They don't allow us space in behind. They play us differently. They've shut that down. But you know what also is a big problem there? When you play a counter-attacking team, I think any other team in the Premier League that plays a counter-attacking game, they've got proper pace. I don't think we have proper pace up front.
That's why for me Antonio needs to be in the starting lineup.
Yeah, we don't have even Bowen. Bowen's quick, but he ain't quick enough to. Most fullbacks are as quick as Bowen.
Yeah, but there are other ways to introduce pace into a counter attack. It hasn't got to be a foot race, one player against another. It's how quickly you move the ball, right?
True. Yeah, and that's true. And that's for me why. Look, we've done it to death, but that's to me why the midfield two needs to be Rice and Downs because the transition of the pass forward. Look, Souček, he played okay against Liverpool, but he still, to me, turns the ball over too slowly and very rarely, although he did against Liverpool to some extent, so that might make Moyes change his mind again, but to me, he generally passes sideways or backwards, and that's not good for what we need to achieve.
He does, and that's the thing, right? And this isn't, I'm fed up talking about Souček, but the issue is, it doesn't matter what way. Look, if you're gonna, the only advantage I can see to playing Souček, I think, is in games where I would expect us to not have the ball at all, hardly. So if you play, and that's when Souček looks at his best, because if you give him a job to do, he's quite good off the ball, Souček, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's quite good. So if you're playing against Man City or whatever, and you're not going to be spending long periods of time on the ball, he's a good blocker, I suppose. But if you do ever want to make a transition to being a passing team, which is apparently what we're doing, to have a player in the middle of the park that is not a passer is crazy, because that's where it all happens. That's the heartbeat. That's the machine room, the midfield. To have a player like that in the middle, it's a disruptive influence to trying to play that way. I am sorry. It is.
Well, that's another reason why I was quite happy to see what appeared to be a three-man central midfield against Liverpool, because for once it would mean that our central midfield would not be overrun, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way it kind of turned out. Are we going to do the squad selector, do you think?
Should we do that? Do you want to I'll set that up.
Yeah.
Carrying going through
the team selector. Team selector.
What's your prediction anyway, John? We didn't hear your prediction for tomorrow.
I think we'll win. But like you said, I genuinely hope that he just goes for it from the off. I don't want to be sitting there, in trepidation, worried about the result, worried about how we're playing. I just want to go into them from the off, So for me, I think that's the most important thing. But I'd like to win just for momentum's sake, rather than I think we're going to get relegated if we don't.
Also, one more thing before you do that. I read earlier on that the French backup keeper, I can't think who he plays for now. He's just got injured. which means that Areola's back in the reckoning for a World Cup place.
Oh,
He
wow.
needs- No, but he needs to play football.
He needs first team football.
He needs first team football.
Right.
That's the other thing as well.
He ain't going to leave us, is he? What do you think's going to happen?
No, I'm not saying he's going to leave, but do you not think in that sort of situation there, Moyes should be looking at something like that?
No.
I mean, what? Not doing him a favour, but Areola's being held back. He's the better keeper out of the two.
Yeah, but I truly believe that they can't have. Listen, we've said this before as well. It's like bloody repeating ourselves, but there's no way in the summer they said to Areola, sign for us, and you're not going to be a first team player, first team keeper, first choice keeper. They must have said it's a straight fight, and Moyes, for whatever reason, is still choosing Fabs over him. However, Fabs in the main hasn't been bad this season. He's made a few little ricks, and he may be slow in distribution at times. But, we can't be fingering the blame at Fabianski's shoulders. I think, for me, the biggest culprit or the biggest position that we have obviously struggled is in the centre midfield. And that is what I've been calling for ages, is to put Downs in ahead of Soucek. Soufal as well, loss of form. We've been calling for him to go out for a while, and he did. He took him out when people were back. But because of injuries again, he had to put him back in. So that's all I'd say.
It's true what Nigel says there as well, is that Areola is going to get first team football. He'll play 3 out of the 7 remaining games before the World Cup.
Very true. Yeah, very true. He knows his stuff, doesn't he? But this is a good point. Andy Armit says Areola is one expensive sub keeper on 130k a week.
As well.
Yeah, he is. There's no way Areola agreed to be second fiddle to Fabianski. No way.
Bizarre.
But he still was up for the fight. Moyes must have said it's a straight fight out. I'll pick my number one based on what I see in training.
Yeah.
So what's going on here? Hang on a minute. I've lost something. Tony Vaughan's asking a few questions. Does Moyes watch this channel? Yes, he does.
Yeah, regular viewer. He actually jumps in the comments sometimes, doesn't he?
He does. And sometimes Tony also says, do you think our players watch this channel? Obviously. All of them. They watch everything.
It's part of training. It's part of training on a Monday morning.
I feel quite rotten if Soucek watched it, I've got to be honest.
Hang on a minute. Look who's piped up. Andy Dennis. Yes, they dislike it.
Yeah. That's the one thumbs down we get is from Thomas Soucek.
Yeah, that's right.
Literally, we get honestly every single show we get one thumbs down, and it's before we even go live. The minute they see a show schedule, it's like bang.
I think Nigel's commenting on the wrong thing. Lloris is French number 1 anyway, and then he started talking about some birdie knows called Stella. Stella will go as a backup. I hope your wife knows, mate.
Yeah.
What are you talking about there? Luke Bailey spelt his name wrong. Says evening, gents. Evening, Luke.
It's just Mr. Nigel can't defend him Moyes at all costs. That's what he does.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, like Moyes wins is what he does. Nigel will just fucking argue till the cows come home. It don't matter what you put in front of him.
Andy says what he says to Areola is, I will pick my favourite son in a Scottish accent. Right, we're going to do squad selector.
Yes. I'll share it now. 1 minute.
In the chat, people, just tell me how you spell Luke. L-U-C or L-U-K-E. Just in the chat.
I was Luke in the chat. Hello, mate.
Now he's French. Hang on a minute. I spelled my name perfectly French. Thank you very much, Virgil. Jesus Christ.
Right. Okay. Obviously, as we've all said, there's no point talking about goalkeeper. Fabianski's going to go in.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? Okay. Left back. We know what's going to happen there, don't we?
Cresswell.
Do we know what's happening with the centre backs?
No.
Well, I think Dawson's still injured. He's not healing as quickly as they would like.
I think it'll be Zuma and Kehrer, won't it?
Yeah, Zuma and Kehrer with probably Johnson. Right.
Yeah. I think it'll be the same back four as it was against Liverpool.
Yeah.
Because of lack of options, if you like.
I made this point last night because I know Johnson's been getting pelters about his position. His position.
It was bad
for Liverpool goal. Do you know what I did say though? Because if we hark back to when Johnson sort of first broke in and he had that run of games where he was brilliant against Liverpool, brilliant against Man City. I think he had these great stats for one-on-ones. People couldn't get past him.
That's right.
Since then, he's been used as a fucking utility player. I know it needs must. I'm not criticising anyone, but he's been left back, right wing back, centre back mostly this season. Do you think that could affect him? Because when you're doing one job as a centre back, all of a sudden you're going back out to right back again.
Yeah,
it's all positional. It's all different. And he did seem like he was standing off of that player, and that ain't like him. You know,
I think it definitely can affect you, but the only way to fix it is to get back and play in a regular position over and over again.
I think also he's had a lot of little niggling injuries. He sort of gets a little run, then he'll pick up a niggle, then he's back in the team, but then he's in a different position.
Loves a hamstring, doesn't he? Loves a hamstring.
Yeah, I don't know what. So I think it'll be the same back four.
Do you reckon he's going to go? He's not. Do you reckon he's going to go for the 4-3-3 again?
I think he will. I think he will.
Yeah. So obviously no argument on Rice. So you got Rice in there.
This is what we want, isn't it? Yeah. This is what we want from what we've got.
Do you think it was 4-3-3 and not 4-4-2?
It was 4-3-3 on paper, and then what happened was, Gary, Fornells, who was supposed to be the left attacker, was tasked with being a defensive player. He would drop back constantly. When he did, the midfield shifted along, and it was quite a flat midfield, if you remember.
Yeah,
we had Rice, flat midfield.
We had Rice and Fornells guarding Cresswell, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. So we're going to go Downs next to him, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Now, so we're gonna so Paqueta's not playing. Obviously, look, the man has to play up front, Scamacca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um
I'd like to see Benny.
Benny's gonna if we're choosing the same, Benny's in there.
Yeah, well, this is what we want for tomorrow. Obviously, we
yeah. Well, that being the case, would you play him there, or would you?
I'd play him there.
You play him on the left.
I'd play him on the left. I think he's looked good, and he's been good on the left this season when he's come on, hasn't he?
Yeah.
So if he's on a little bit of form, then
right now for me, this is a bone of contention, right? Because I think apart from 2 games potentially, Bowen has been crap. I'm not being horrible. I think even the Fulham game, he wasn't good. He scored the penalty, and then the game after that, he was poor as well. So he was terrible at the start of the season. He had a little gap where he picked up, and he's poor again. So why is Bowen guaranteed a starting berth?
Because we have a lack of options. Because we have a few injuries. So
I'll tell you what.
Case of...
How about 4-2-3-1? How about putting? I think you said it already, Nick. Put in Ben Rama in the number 10 position behind Scamacca. Put in
Antonio
Bowen.
left.
Yeah, Antonio out left, Bowen out right.
Yes, good idea.
Do you know what I would do?
Go on.
If it was me, I would simply do this because this is the man, and this is another one who's been, like I said to you all the time, he's been Moyes. Out on the left. He's almost forgotten how to play football. He's turned into a fucking labourer. Stick him in the middle as well. Stick him in the middle where he's at his best. He's a good passer. Then you've got 3 players there in the middle.
Yeah.
Pablo is a forward-thinking player as well. He moves the ball really, really quickly. And you've got someone who can link play, so he can move into that 10. And that for me, that is where Pablo should be used. He ain't a fucking winger. You don't put him out there. That's
no. He's definitely a number 10. He definitely is.
Yeah. So for me, that's what I would do.
Yeah,
with Pablo.
I just think he's lacking in confidence at the minute. I know he's playing out of position mostly
all the time, every game.
I think someone in the chat's put Benny in the middle. I think that's a good shout because then you've got Antonio to go left though. No.
Yeah. I would love to. I'd love to see Antonio, and mind you, you are putting all of your players on the pitch at once if you do that, aren't you? I'd rather win the game early on, and if you got to maybe do it the reverse way around in this one, be quite nice. Yeah.
So what they're saying is that
with Benny, I think Benny needs a run of games now.
Yeah. That's what I'd do. That's what I'd do. That front 4, I think, would terrify Bournemouth.
Yeah, that's sexy. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Or how about this?
What you can do now?
Take Bowen out of the team. He won't take Bowen out of the team.
4-3-3.
No, we're saying what we would do.
Yeah, 4-3-3. That would work as well.
I just think Fornells is more out of form than Bowen, Nick, personally. That's what I would say. I know what you're saying. He don't play in his usual position, but
right. This is something else that we agree with as well. And look, I do get the inverted wide attackers. I do. I understand why they do it, but what I don't understand is why we never play a conventional fucking winger. So especially when we want. Look, Kent Hammers, Bowen on the left, Antonio on the right to get crosses in early. So if you do that, so if you played Antonio there and you played, you're basically playing with two wingers, and you're playing them as wingers. What you're doing is you're telling them run down the wing, whip crosses in. Didn't we do that several games ago? He put it was Cornet on the left. No, Cornet on the right. No, Cornet on the left.
That was in
Benny
Europe,
on the right.
That was in Europe.
Cornet on the left and Benny on the right.
Yeah, and it failed miserably, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, they switched them again. Yeah, kept switching them around.
Yeah, but you know that Antonio is always going to get to the byline. Antonio ain't got a bad cross, you know.
No, of course he ain't. That's what he used to do.
Yeah, he ain't got a bad cross. But that's what I mean. We have got options now. If we go back to, so you look at these formations that we're looking at here. Now, what we've been told by a bloke who's bloody predicted the lineups for the last 5 games, he's saying it's going to be the same. So we're going to be looking at Bowen on the right. Oh no. If it's going to be the same, you're going to be looking at that front 2. You're going to be
right and Soucek.
Or was it a front 3? No, it weren't. It was 4 in the middle, John, wasn't it? It was a defensive wall, really. Like how the game played out.
Yeah,
it was.
I don't know if it was meant to be like that, but it sort of.
It literally just became like that. Downs was out here on the right. Fornells was out on the left, and it was a clear line in that central midfield that we had that was guarding the back 4. And then
but I still don't mind that formation because it's 2 up front, Nick.
Yeah.
So for me, it's about personnel again.
There is fuck all in that midfield in terms of creativity.
But that's what I'm saying to you. No. I've been saying for a while 4-4-2 because of the fact that I think that our defenders can concentrate on being defenders because we're struggling left and right backs. The 4-4-2 suits what we have available, or the 4-3-3 suits what we have available, and I mean that in the defence. You know, the defence part of the team.
Yeah.
So I still don't mind that lineup. But maybe
if you're going to play this, there's only one way to play it in my mind. That is Ben Rama in for Fornells. That is Bowen in for Downs, and that is Antonio in for Bowen.
Yeah, with Bowen.
Sorry, Downs moves inside to Soucek. Get Soucek out of the team. So you got Downs and Rice in the middle.
Yeah.
Benny
lock Fornells out and put Benny in.
Yeah.
What on the left?
Yeah. Then put Bowen on the right hand side of midfield.
Yeah,
you could even put Antonio
up front.
Our fucking that all of a sudden our attacking is that.
Yeah, that is a 4-4-2.
Yeah. I mean, come on. And now, I am sorry, and you play them for a full game. People say, "Oh, Antonio, he can't play a full game." Don't play him a full fucking game then, because 60 minutes should be enough. Play him for an hour. We should have against Bournemouth. That should be enough to have that game out of sight. Those. How do you defend against them two? They're hard enough to defend against individually. Both of those are kind of powerhouses, aren't they?
A lot of defenders watching them, Ben Rama and Bowen are causing chaos. And then Rice is able to join in as well. Downs is sitting back looking after the back forward, keeping the gate shut.
Yeah, that's it. But what do you think? What do you think that Moyes is going to do, honestly? Come on, predict what Moyes is going to do. Be honest.
Listen, I think what you said just now makes me shudder, right? And you say same again because he's probably one of the only managers in the Premier League who goes by that 70s thing of never change a winning team, right?
Yeah.
Or even when it ain't a winning team, it's a losing team. But he tends to stick rather than try different things, He's tried a couple of different things lately to give him a bit of credit. Ain't been as adventurous as I'd like, but he's tried a few things.
No.
I think he'll go similar to what he did against Liverpool. I think, I think the reason for that is he doesn't want to drop Thomas.
No, and you know what? Even if there was just a one tweak, and this isn't because look, I love Fornells. I think everyone knows that I love Fornells. The one tweak, if he plays that way, just has to be Ben Rama for Fornells. That would probably give us at least give us enough. I think in an attacking sense, it give you something on that. It would just give you something a bit different. That's what Ben Rama does give you. He does give you something different.
Yeah, what do you think of Nigel's comment here? It'd be better to finish with that team than start.
Oh, fuck's sake! But Nigel was fully bought into. We had this conversation earlier on. Nigel has basically said that he doesn't care about the first half. He just cares about how we finish it. It's literally it's what he said, Gary. He said he doesn't care about the first half. So get that done. Just go out. So basically, he's fully backing the way that Moyes does things.
I think more what he's saying there, really.
No, but that is what he said.
No. He does mind the first half if we're 3-0 down. I think what he's getting at is the result is important at the end of the day.
Yeah, but he says he doesn't. We have the debate. He says he clearly feels that in the first half it doesn't really mean too much as long as you can keep it tight. You don't go a goal down, and then you go out in the second half, and if you can win the game that way, that's fine. So it's playing half a game. I can't buy into that. I'm sorry.
What do we? I mean, Luke Bailey here is suggesting we're underestimating Bournemouth. No, look, you can't underestimate any team in the Premier League or Premiership, as Craven likes to call it. But what we're getting at here, Luke, in my opinion, and we're all agreed, and we all got slightly different opinions. At the end of the day, we want a team that's going to take the game to Bournemouth. There's no point sitting back and giving them far too much respect because we need.
John, answer. I'll tell you about. How about you answer that?
Go on.
You answer it.
I don't want to be losing. So
no. That's different. He's saying I don't feel the need to be winning at halftime. He's saying he doesn't feel the need to go after the game and try and do anything in the first half. I know that you want to see us come out the blocks, John. So I know you feel differently.
I've said that to you on this show tonight openly.
Yeah.
I want us to take the game to teams because there were times last season, and we did it a lot against the big teams, the Cities, and the Liverpools. We was on the front foot. We sort of stood toe to toe. And the thing that has surprised me this season more than anything, and I'm not changing my stance because I've said it to you guys before, is how slow we're starting games. Even at home, I mean, I know we played counter-attacking, but you can play counter-attacking and still be attacking, if you know what I mean. You don't always have to just continuously sit back.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to see because I do believe we have the players to do it. And I do now think that Moyes, surely, and I hope he is, because look, I like Moyes, whether you think I should like him or not, I truly think now he has got to try something different because I think, not because we're going to get relegated, because I still don't think we're going to get relegated, but I just think we need to be more forward thinking. We need to take the game to teams, especially at home, and especially against teams like Bournemouth, and I mean it totally respectfully. And what I mean by that is, we're bigger than Bournemouth.
If we can't be confident and expect for our team to go out at home and go out and put a performance in and try and beat Bournemouth like we should be trying to do, then what does that say about West Ham? If we can't feel confident, if we can't in that game feel like we're going to go out and try and win that game at home, then I'm sorry. What does that say about us? They've won 3 games this year, haven't they? They was all in the bottom 3 when they was all playing shit. They beat Forest, Leicester, and Wolves.
In my mind's pecking order, right? West Ham is above the likes of Bournemouth, and Brentford, and Brighton, and teams like this, right? And Fulham, and all these teams. To me, they're teams we should be beating at home. I'm not saying we should be beating them away, but we should be beating them at home. Because if we're to survive and thrive in this league, they're our bankers, right? They're the ones we must win. We must get something out of.
Yeah.
But they're no mugs. I agree with Luke. I agree with Nigel. I'm not saying they are.
No Premier League club is. No Premier League.
Look at Nottingham Forest for as crap. And we've mocked them buying 23 players, but they beat us. Luckily, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
But yesterday they beat Liverpool.
What they did against Liverpool but what they did against Liverpool, that was a 1 in 50 thing where Liverpool tear up Nottingham Forest. Now, 49 times out of 50, Liverpool batter Nottingham Forest. That was the one time where sitting back and hitting them on the counter attack works. That was all that was. It's going to happen every now and then.
It was also missed chances, great goalkeeping, and everything else. I mean, they would honestly, it was like the Alamo towards the end. It was.
Kent says we need Thomas tomorrow to help.
Completely disagree, Kent. I'm sorry.
And others in Bournemouth.
Physicality.
Downs and Rice are not a no shrinking violets, are they?
Ulster Ryan says we shouldn't be worried about Bournemouth. They should be worried about us. That's what I'm getting at.
Yes.
That's what I mean. I think. Look, I know we all think our team are the biggest team in the world, but let's be realistic. We're not.
No, we don't. We don't think like that. None of us think like that, right?
And I respect them, but I still think we should be beating teams like Bournemouth at home. Yes, I do. I do. I truly do. Although we've only played them 10 times in the Premier League, and they have won more than us.
Yeah, I know.
I I think they've won 4, we've won 3, and there's been.
I mean that if you anyone who's watched the channel for a while, we used to do these team predictors. We used to do them for every game. We literally gave up last season because it was fucking pointless. We on here we binned it because we all agreed what is a fucking point. He puts out the same team every week. That is why we binned the team predictor. You know, that was kind of a. Yeah,
it is true actually because it was the. You know, we were just putting the same team up every week, weren't we?
Yeah. What's the point? You know, there was never any surprises.
Yeah. There are options this time. He does have options. He does have options, and let's hope he uses them. Playing the same team that he did against Liverpool, in my mind, would be a mistake because it was too negative. That was designed for Liverpool.
Yeah,
that was designed to hold Liverpool out, right?
Yeah. This is sort of what I'm thinking about Luke Bailey. We can't underestimate them. However, we can't worry about them. That's what I'm saying. We have to go out there believing in ourselves. We have to go out there believing in our players, and we have to take the game to them. I'm not saying go gun ho, but just be on the forward foot. You know, just be on it. Be on it from the off.
Should we put the phone number up? Should we take 1 or 2 calls before we knock off?
Give it a try.
Put it up. Boris Johnson's not running for PM. Just
saw that.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah. I think Rishi Sunak is though, isn't he? Rishi, what's his name?
He's going to get. He'll probably just get crowned new PM tomorrow. Now
I think Boris is holding it. Boris is holding it for the West Ham job. I've heard.
Yeah, I don't think Penny Mordaunt is going to get more than 100, so that will make him the de facto winner.
I've no idea what that word means.
We'll win by default, basically. He'll just because no one can compete with him. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Right, we've got one straight to win. Yeah, look, Siri just told you it was.
What?
Yeah.
Siri?
Hello, Siri.
Hang on 1 moment. Hello, Gary from Romford.
Hello.
Gary, can you hear us?
Can you hear me, Nick?
I can hear you, mate. Can you hear me? Hello. Oh, text not working.
You had that problem last night, didn't you? Couldn't get it.
Hello, Gary.
I can hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Right. Okay, that's fine, mate. Yeah. How are you, Gary? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine, Nick. Thank you. Yeah. Are you good, Gary and John? Okay.
Yeah, not bad. Not bad, Gary.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went out last night, so I watched the show when I got in. And I've been thinking today about all you're discussing about the Moyes thing last night, Moyes out, and about everything. And football is such a fine line between success and failure sometimes. I mean, like tomorrow's game is very, the must-win thing is overused sometimes. But if we don't win tomorrow, when we lose against Man United, we lose a draw tomorrow, we're going to be in the bottom 3. And then once you're in there, it's hard to get out of it. So it's a real must-win to give us a buffer and also push up to 10th. And then you're looking the other way. But it's this is a very strange season. And but I was thinking about, everything really. I was looking at some of the scores today. As much as we moan about Moyes and about his lack of creativity, the one thing never happens with us, we never get thrashed. We never get beat. We never ever lost by more than 3 goals, ever. I think 3 times, Southampton twice and Tottenham. Apart from that, even the big 6, it's always the odd goal. Away from home, we lose. But you look at today, 4-0 at Villa, 4-0 Leicester. That doesn't happen. So on the positive side of it, what I wouldn't like, if we do get rid of him, and we get the wrong player in, no way Moyes is going to come back a 3rd time. It's a very fine. But also, lads, you said about the team selection. Yeah, you said about team selection. Now, I heard earlier, I saw an interview with Moyes, press thing, that Dawson is available tomorrow. Cornet's on the grass, but not quite ready, and we're not sure about Paqueta. So it could both be tomorrow that Dawson is playing. Paqueta might play as well, but Cornet's on the grass, as he calls it, but he's probably not quite ready yet. But I do think even the Liverpool game on Wednesday night, this thing about negativity and positivity, when I listened to Nick and the other lads talking last night, it was down to one position, That 4-3-3 or 4-4-2, if he just switched Ben Rama for Fornals...
Absolutely.
Everyone would have been happy.
Yeah.
So he's not really, he hasn't got to do a terrible amount of tinkering to get this right, and I would like to see personally Downs and Rice and Paqueta in a 3 if we're going to do a 3, because Paqueta can put his foot in. He's not a luxury player. And I would love to see Antonio wide with Bowen and Scamacca or even Benny left or Benny in the number 10. We've got a lot of options now. But we really have got to win this game, because if we do lose tomorrow night, I heard Tottenham today. They're third. They've got booed off at half time. Yeah. They're third in the league. I mean, football fans, we are very fickle sometimes. I mean, but it is a very fine line between success and failure, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, 100%, mate. This is what I'm saying, Gary, and this is why, for me, tomorrow's game is a must-win, but not a must-win because I'm fearing relegation. I just think it will create a little bit of momentum. I'm hoping that it will create momentum. And like you said, being 10th to being 17th is a huge gulf on paper, but obviously because the league is, most teams this season are very inconsistent. I mean, the only real team of consistency, Arsenal were until today. I mean, they drew, which haven't lost, but Man City again.
Well, yeah.
But
last week we was moaning about. Last week we was all moaning last week about the Southampton draw, and it just shows you it wasn't such a bad result. They held Arsenal, But
exactly,
it is. It does make me laugh sometimes, because you look at these games. I mean, I tell you what's a little patterns are emerging. You're not getting very many away wins generally. A lot of teams are winning at home. If you look at it at the moment, there's a lot of home wins. The teams are pulling results out. But the only thing I will say, John, is I think it is a very important game tomorrow night, this one, because we've got Man United next, who seem to be playing a lot better. And
oh, we've lost you. We've lost you, Gary.
Nick, we lost Gary.
Sorry, Gary. Go on, mate. Just repeat that last bit.
I just said, a lot of these teams are pulling results out now. It's going to be a real scrap to get away from that, because you only got to, out of 2 games, draw one and lose one, and you're right in it. You're right back down there again. And you look at the next 4 games.
Yeah.
I mean, how many points do you think? Realistically, I think we've got to win tomorrow. I think Man United are away from the top 6 is terrible. So really, we've got to be looking at beating Leicester. We've got to be looking at minimum 7 points. Minimum.
We need 7 points from 3 games. I think
because that's minimum. Nick. That's minimum.
That is minimum, because that will take us up to 16 games, I think, at the end of the season, or 15 games or whatever. And then when we come back, I do keep saying it. We play Arsenal and we play our bogey and our latest bogey team, Brentford. So.
That's another thing, you see. Well, everyone's on about Thomas Frank, the great manager. Brentford's last 2 away games, they've shipped in 9 goals.
Yeah,
they've got beat 5-1 at Newcastle. They've lost 4-0 today. So I don't know really. It's a very difficult thing to get the perfect manager in.
It is.
I think it's very difficult, and this is going to be a very, very strange season. Very strange season. And it's going to be this relegation thing. Is going to be not going to be between 3 or 4 teams. It's going to be about 8 or 9 teams in it. I think.
Yeah. I think you're right, and I think it's going to be quite a high number of points to survive. It's going to be back to it's going to be back to needing 40 points to survive. I don't think it's going to be like mid to low 30s like it has been a couple of times.
Well, no, because everybody's taking points off each other, isn't there? That's why.
I think we can all see. I think everyone outside that the top 6 anyway. The Premier League money has very, very blatantly leveled the playing field now. Everyone beats everyone, don't they? Everyone beats everyone.
Yeah. Also, if Dawson does play tomorrow night, that'd be great, because then we can have Dawson and Zuma, and you can start pushing Claret to right back.
Yes.
And then suddenly, again, down that right-hand side, it's looking better. But one thing has got to happen tomorrow night. Benny has got to play. We cannot have Fornells. If you're going to play Fornells, play him in the number 10, but do not play him out on the left, because I think if we goes wrong, the fans are going to turn, I think.
Yeah.
You know what he'll do, though? He will play Fornells tomorrow, and then he'll start Benny on Thursday against Silkeborg.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
Which is a dead rubber game. Let's face it. I know we haven't officially won the group yet, but we have.
I've got this year, and I know you probably feel the same. This year, I've developed a massive soft spot for Benny. After him being, quite annoying me a little bit the last couple of years of being so inconsistent. He's a good player.
And he's not sulking either, is he, Gal? Yeah. He's not sulking. He's coming on, and he's doing. Every game he's coming out, he's influencing it.
That's right. Exactly that. He makes stuff happen, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I just wish Moyes would treat him. I wish Moyes would treat him the same way he treated Lingard. Put his arm around him. I reckon if someone did that and really you've got a really good player there.
Yeah, we've said that for a while. It's just the inconsistency for me, but I totally agree with you. Last season, when he was being subbed, when he was coming on, he didn't ever look particularly happy. this season, I've seen a change in his attitude more than anything else, and that seems to have gone in line with what, by his terms, in the West Ham shirt, is more consistency. So it's interesting.
Yeah, they're right. I mean, this is a bit of an example of stats clouding the issue and people using them to back up their argument. Arsenal have been unbelievable this year, and Nigel's making comparisons. Arsenal only had 12 shots today. West Ham had 24 last week, whereas Arsenal were top of the league, and we're fall from bottom.
And
I think that's and they've been playing beautiful football. That's the difference. They've been amazing to watch. There's no comparison.
Would you like to see a free tomorrow night of Rice, Paqueta and Downs with Benny playing just in front of them? So obviously that would be quite.
Oh Jesus Christ! Now you're talking my language, but that will never happen, though. Gary, we will never ever see Benny and Paqueta starting in the same team. I'm sure of it. It's
a shame because it's a shame because you did that. You could play Bowen or Antonio off of Scamacca and then play Paqueta because he can. Apparently, Paqueta in his best position for Brazil, he plays on the right hand side of a free.
Yeah.
That's apparently his. Now, if you pay £50 million per player, surely you've got to play to his strengths.
Well, yeah, you'd imagine so. The other thing as well, and I'm going to say it, we can afford to have a player in the team with a free role, especially when we play with three central defensive midfielders like we did against Liverpool. Any team that has 7 players, you've got a defensive 4, a defensive 3. Anyone can have a player whose job is to create, not to defend. You say to him, don't worry about fucking tracking back. Because you know something as well. Do you remember, I mean, Moyes would never have used Pyatt. Pyatt never tracked back. And the fact of the matter is that also, when you've got a good player, a good attacking player that does sit up top and he doesn't track back, that stops them bombing on because they've got to occupy him. They can't leave him. If you've got Dimitri Payet on the wide left, or you've got Benny on the wide left, or Antonio on the wide right, are they gonna leave him on his own out there? They're not. So I don't see why we don't kind of. Do you know what I mean? We just need to have the odd player, just one that has got that free role and that creative license to just fucking, pull the strings. That's what I think.
Yeah. The thing is, Nick, if you did play 3 in the middle, if you did play, any 3 from 4, Paqueta, Souček, Rice, and Downs, you can afford to have a player doing what he wants. You can afford it.
Yeah, of course you can.
Yeah. Okay, then, lads. Thanks.
Just before you go, Gary, someone's put in the chat. Gary from Romford is a West Ham legend. So
you are, mate. You're a great caller, Gary. You're a great caller.
Yeah, cheers, Gary.
I've got one more. I've got a phone back, actually. I'll text him back. It's Jonathan. Right, 1 minute. Hang on.
Jonathan with a fifth or a fifth?
A fifth.
Johnny Fun or Jonathan?
Jonathan.
Here we go. We'll find out. Jonathan. Hello, is that Jonathan?
John.
Hello, John. You all right, mate? How are you?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. Thanks for calling in.
Where's he from?
Thanks for having me.
No worries. What was
my from? I'm from Stratford, mate.
You're from Stratford?
Nice one.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Very local.
Yeah, listen, thanks for having me on. What a brilliant show.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you.
Nice of you to say that.
You're welcome.
Nice of you to say that. What would you like to talk about, mate?
Well, I've got a few things, so just cut me off if you need to, yeah?
No, it won't.
No problem. Right, so where to start? I've got a few things to say. So, I mean, along the lines of, I'm not Moyes in or Moyes out. Yeah, I probably veer more towards what John thinks.
Yep.
If I'm honest.
Yep.
But I do find you bloody entertaining, Nick. Honestly.
Thank you.
Because
Thank you very much.
And I don't mean that in a condescending way. What I'm saying is, I don't see you as an ignorant. I never liked Moyes from the beginning. He's a dinosaur.
I do try and justify what I'm saying. I try and put some rationale behind it.
No, they're compelling arguments.
Yeah.
They're logical. Like, I get it, and I'm with you in the sense of if I actually literally believed, it was in the bag, we could get Pochettino or Tuchel or someone like that.
Yeah.
I'd be tempted. It's a bit like sort of if you got a really good looking bird but then an absolute A-list is available, you're gonna think, hang on. Karen
Brady's available. Yeah, you're gonna. Yeah.
Yeah. All the way, mate. But anyway, this is my point. Yeah. Right. So there's 3 things I want to talk about quickly. So with regards to why I can relate to what you're saying, Nick,
Yeah.
and I feel like you're not fickle because you stick to your point.
Yeah.
During games, I'm extremely emotive. Like I am so emotive during a game, yeah. So I expect to not necessarily win, but play a certain way. And when things don't go our way,
Yeah.
especially with what's going on at the moment, we haven't played well since. I know we've not played well since that Liverpool game. I'm not stupid.
Yeah.
That game, Krasinski was at the stadium, and we were at our peak. You said that earlier on another show, and I was literally like, "This is it. We've arrived." It's not gone. It's not gone well since then. Although we've smashed it in Europe, we have.
We have. Yeah.
We have, and that's kind of papered over some cracks. Fair enough. So during those times during these games, I get very emotive, and I'll quite happily be like, "He's an absolute tosser. Get rid of him. Let's get someone else in." But then I do. That's during the game. After the game, I do calm down. My overall point is, I'm definitely not. I'm not stupid. I know we've come a long way since he's come in the sense of, I guess the point I need to make is, this is the reality. And I'm not saying that we should live, he can dine out on this forever. But the reality is, the guy, over the last, I think it's 4 years, maybe more, he saved us from relegation twice. Both situations, not his fault. So it wasn't like he fucked us up and then saved us. He came in and fixed the mess. Right? He's got us a top 6 and a top 7 finish. He's taken us to a semi-final of the Europa League. Like, it's big enough getting us into Europe. He's taken us to a semi-final.
Agreed.
And we're also in the knockout stage this year, right?
Yes.
So whether or not we mucked up in Frankfurt or whatever it is, I think he's probably, if you look at Premier League years, one of our most successful managers to date.
On paper, right? He is. Absolutely.
On paper,
100%. Yeah.
He's also, whether we get rid of him or not, we have to say, if you compare him to Pellegrini, because I was looking at this myself, signing for signing, Pellegrini spent a hell of a lot of money. So's David Moyes. If David Moyes walks out tomorrow, we're in a much better position than when Pellegrini walked out, just by the squad, just by the players he's bought.
Yeah.
You can say that's Rob Newman, but Rob Newman's his mate. He played with Rob Newman, so he would have been involved with Rob Newman's. So Rob Newman is something to do with Moyes. Getting him in is to do with Moyes. They played together.
Yeah.
So we've already got a wicked squad. You're talking about getting Pochettino in. I'd love that as well. Pochettino is inheriting David Moyes' squad. So you'd already have to say thank you, David, for that. So he's done so much.
Oh,
also,
absolutely. Yeah, you would.
Another thing we have to look at as well, if you look at, people say about, he hasn't won anything and all this. I know, I've watched football for a long time as well, and I'm looking at that Everton team, and I agree with you that football's changed. It's changed a lot since then. You could, but he was brilliant with Everton, Yeah. If you look at Everton, and listen, this is up for debate, but I look at that Everton team, me personally, they'd be in the conversation, if this is a conversation, as the best team outside of the elite Premier League clubs ever. Like, if you look at it's always been a top 4, now it's a top 6. But at that time, it was a top 4. Everton were always around 5 or 6, and they got 4th once or twice, I think. He's also won the Premier League Manager of the Year 3 times.
Excellent point. Excellent point.
So he's
as Everton manager.
He's nowhere near. Yeah, he's nowhere near. Like, he's not. I'm not putting him in. He's in the same conversation. He's not the same quality. But the people that get talked about as Manager of the Year, we're talking about Sir Alec.
Well, off the back of all that, that was how he got handpicked by Ferguson for the Man United job.
Yeah. Thanks for saying that. That was my next point.
Yeah, based on what he did at Everton.
Exactly. So what I'm saying is, when you're talking about his resume, people can't. Brendan Rodgers can't compare to him. Like, it doesn't matter what he's won. No, I'm not saying. No, I'm talking about resume.
Yeah.
If you look at his resume, I'm not talking about what they've won. Brendan Rodgers has won the FA Cup and he's done a lot. He's done some good stuff. Brendan Rodgers, I'd like him as West Ham manager if Moyes if we let him go.
Yeah.
I'm not having a go at Brendan Rodgers. I'm talking about have some respect about his resume. What he did at Everton was amazing. So good that Sir Alex Ferguson's picked him. What he's done at West Ham, if you look at it as a microcosm, forget what's happened now. What he's done at West Ham is historical.
Yeah.
Like you've said it yourself, Nick. If we get rid of him today, he'll be looked at fondly.
Oh, 100%. 100%. Yeah, you've kind of he's left a legacy. The only issue, I mean, my concern is because I do wholeheartedly believe for me that I don't think David Moyes can. I don't believe that he can deliver what we need him to deliver now. That is my honest opinion now, Jonathan. I think,
and I get that.
I think David Moyes is incredibly good at one thing, but he's not reluctant. He's refusal to change and remove players and do this and do that. I just don't think it's like we're waiting for this this transition. We're not waiting for the squad and the players to transition. We're sitting there waiting for David Moyes to transition, and I just don't.
No, but you know what? I agree with you. Sorry, Nick.
Yeah,
I don't think he's ready. I don't think he's the guy to take us to the level that you and I, and I'm sure everyone else there wants us to get to.
No.
However, what I'm saying is, I think this is where we've got to be careful. I don't think he's finished his job yet, getting us to where he needs to get us to in order for us to make that change. Because I don't think, I know you're going to say, oh, well, if you don't try, you don't get. I'm not sure we'll get someone that won't take us backwards. Now, what I'm saying about this is, I'm going to name some names now.
There's never any guarantees, is there?
Wait,
never any
guarantees.
guarantees.
Now, if we were in the same position we were in when these guys were hot shit, we'd be talking about them now. So I'm going to name some names. Now, bear in mind, look at where they are now. Starting from, like, this is, you might think this is bollocks, but I remember once Tim Sherwood was the next big thing. Now he's a shitty pundit. Gary Monk, I don't know where the fuck Gary Monk is. Sean Dyche, we were. I remember a lot of fans talking about how great he was. Now we would hate to have Sean Dyche. Nuno Santo was apparently Arsenal's next manager at one point. Remember him? Nuno Santo, absolute toilet. Martinez, I wouldn't take Martinez. He's toilet. Ralph Hussenthal last year, they were saying he's the new Klopp. Like,
they was actually.
There was. Last week, everyone was talking about Brentford's Frank. He lost 4-0 yesterday to a rudderless Villa. So what I'm saying is, I don't know. I'm not saying that we shouldn't aspire or we shouldn't be looking at other managers after Moyes, but right now, I think he's the best man for the job. And I'll shut up now and let you guys talk.
It's a very, very good, very compelling argument. Very well put across. I completely disagree, by the way. Not with all points.
Good.
Not with all points, because everything you've said is fact based. So it can't be argued with. But I think it's just, I personally now, I think we're arriving at. I mean, it's just. Let me come back to you, Jonathan. Let me ask you a question now. Okay.
Yeah.
What we can't afford to do is get relegated. Okay, so just say, for argument's sake, we lose against Bournemouth tomorrow. Very unlikely, because I think we're going to beat them. But we lose against Bournemouth. We then do go and lose against Man United, because David Moyes has never won away at any of these the traditional top four teams ever in his career, wherever he's been. We won't beat Man United. We just won't. So that's going to put us on 13 games and 11 points. Then we go up against Crystal Palace, who haven't won away from home yet. We probably should get something in that one. Leicester worries me. They're picking up form, so we could get maybe 3 points out of those two. So if that was the case, and you go into the World Cup break on 14 points, and then when you come back, you've got Arsenal and Brentford, you could potentially be looking at 18 games and 14 points. Are you still sticking with Moyes at that point?
Well, I'm going to give you an honest answer. You can totally disagree with it, and it's absolutely fine.
Go on.
If I'm looking at that, right, and I'm in a situation where I'm in a relegation fight, I'm looking at it and thinking, I'm going to want a manager like David Moyes to get us out of it. Now, what I'm going to say is, you're going to say you got us into it, and that's true.
It's a different job. It's a different job.
Because but it's different. It's a different job. At this point, it's a different job. We're going to have to win ugly and fight. I would then be looking at it and saying his contract's up at the end of the year. And we need to definitely, he's obviously not fouled. He's obviously come to the end of the road, but I think he wouldn't want it on his career. He wouldn't want to end it on a relegation. I'd probably stick with him. I'd trust him to get us out of relegation.
So you would?
I honestly would.
Because my personal...
Nick, as well, if we win tomorrow, you're painting a doomsday scenario, and I agree with that. What if we lose?
I'm not saying I think that's going to happen. I'm just saying in that scenario.
Hang on. What if Man City lose their next 10 games? They're not going to. What if they do?
Of course. It's what ifs. It's what ifs.
If we win tomorrow, if we win tomorrow, we're 10th.
Yes, I know.
Now, okay, it's very tight. But how ridiculous is that? We're 17th. If we win tomorrow, we're 10th.
It's very tight. It's very tight. But one second. What I will say is just one more thing, Gary, and I'll let you go. One more thing, and the reason why I think it's a completely different job than coming in. It is much easier for a manager to come in to sort out somebody else's mess. You haven't got a load of damaged relationships, which have probably created the situation that you're in now. It's a very
Yeah, but
different
hang
job.
on,
You,
Nick.
no, whoa.
But Nick,
Hang on, hang on. Let me talk. 1 minute. So you
Right,
haven't got that situation. You haven't got that situation. You've literally coming in. You're in a mess for certain reasons. You've created problems. It's different. You don't come in when David Moyes comes in. He puts his cape on. He identifies certain things. Running stats alone.
Yeah.
We'll sort that out. We'll do this. We'll do that.
Yeah.
You put your arm around a few new players that have become they've fallen out with a previous manager. They've got a new lease of life. This is different. This is a massively different job, and it's very difficult for a manager to sort that out.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Can I come back on that?
Hold on, let me just say.
1 minute. Go on. Let Gary.
Jonathan.
Let me just say that I totally agree with what Nick just said. If Moyes gets us into this position, right? If he gets us into this position, he's not going to be the man to get us out of this position. Right, that never happens in football. That never happens in football. Once a manager goes down the toilet, they go down the toilet. You've got to say though, and it's a question to you, John.
Yeah.
Because my position, I'm not Moyes out, but my position is, if we are still a point or two above the relegation zone, come the World Cup, then I think I want to change.
Yeah, but the only The only thing I'd
Can
say,
I just say something
is,
now quickly?
Go on, Jonathan. Go on, I'll let you go, mate. Go on,
John.
No, go on, you speak.
Go on, John, and I'll go you.
No, go on, John. Go on, mate.
Start.
You go. I like you. You're talking a lot of sense. Go.
No, I've got to say this though. I actually think now, again, I could be wrong. Yeah, I don't. When Pellegrini, I was actually one of those. I wanted Pellegrini out. When I went to watch, I went to Newcastle. Was it West Ham Newcastle? When he remember that game? What a shit! That was awful. And I knew then, right, they've down tools. The team have down tools, right? They are not going to play for this guy, or not even that. He doesn't know what he's doing, yeah? And I looked at him like the Wally in the Brolly. Do you remember that with England? Yeah. I just thought this is a joke. I'm not looking at it like this is a joke. I'm looking at this as a few tweaks need to happen. I don't feel we're in downfall. I'm looking at what I feel like Nick's, and I could be wrong, Nick. I'm just looking at it from an outside, right?
Yeah.
I don't look at it like we're in a relegation fight. I look at it like you're seeing it as we should be doing much better. This is different to a relegation battle. This isn't like, oh my God, we are absolutely dog awful. We're going down. This is like, oh, for fuck's sake, we should be doing so much better.
Jonathan, what about the stat that we're averaging 1 point per game since December, which is definite relegation form? That's that if you get 1 point a game, you're going to go down.
Yeah, true.
So since December, that's for a year, almost a year since December. Yeah, but we've averaged 1 point per game.
Yeah, but you can't join 2 seasons together and get relegated because you only get relegated on one.
That's true, actually.
No, wait, but you can refer to last season, what he did last season. There's an argument for him.
Yeah. You can.
But you can't use it to go against him.
You can't have it both ways, though.
No, you can, but what I mean is, but you can't dismiss it on one hand, which is what John does. It will say you can't do that because that was a different season. But then on the other hand, you'll say, but he got us to semi-final last year, and he saved us from relegation.
I must admit, I'm expecting, I'm hoping for, and a lot of fans will say this ain't good enough. For me, I'm literally looking at it and thinking, if we can finish mid-table around 10th,
I'll take that.
And have a really exciting cup run, I'm happy. And I don't see that we're far away from that. We're 3 points from 10th. So I'm like, we're 3 points from 10th. We're in the cups. The season is not going as I'd hoped and dreamed for, but it's still not that far away from. So I'm not worried.
And Jonathan, what are your thoughts on the style of football, the way that we start every game and we don't go after a game for 45 minutes?
That's a good question. That's a very good question. No, you're absolutely right. I hate. Now, what do I hate? I did look during a game. I hate it. Yeah, like when it doesn't work. When it doesn't work, I hate it.
Yeah.
But basically, I know what the situation is. We go into the game, we fill the game out. We talked about this the other day.
Yeah.
And then we absorb pressure, and then we go at them a little bit later, after usually second half or towards the end of the first half. Then we start going at them, and then the last couple of years we've managed to nick a goal, then nick another goal. And then it looks like a very comfortable win. But this year, it's not worked out.
I have to agree with Jonathan, though, Nick. I disagree with.
No, it's fine. Of course, you can agree and disagree.
I know you can. Listen, me and you disagree till the cows come home. I'm not worried about that. But what I'm saying is I agree with Jonathan in so much as and you said it a few games ago. You picked up on it yourself. You don't look at that team and think they're not playing for the manager. You've said it. So,
I did get that because they could have got him sacked against Wolves if they wanted to.
So, this is what I'm saying to you. But then you said not a couple of minutes ago that this is a different mess because he's got broken relationships and things like that. I don't look at that squad and see that. I don't see that. Maybe one, maybe. I don't look at that squad like they're not there for the manager. So it is a different kettle of fish.
We're not in free fall. We're not falling out of a plane like Pellegrini.
No,
we're in free fall.
Well, he got sacked in 17th place, Jonathan. He weren't in the relegation zone. He was in 17th.
Now hang on a minute. Look at the context. We lost to Leicester's second team. And oh, come on. It was
he got sacked in 17th place. He got sacked in 17th place. We weren't in the relegation zone.
And also, I remember on another show, you turned around and said on another show that we've been relegated with a better team. Do you remember saying that?
We have. We have been relegated with a better team.
Yeah, when we had Defoe and all that.
When we had Defoe.
That wasn't a better squad than this. Come on.
Mate, honestly, are you telling me that you can look at the likes of Leicester, the likes of Villa? We could look at them. Every fan of those teams will look at their squads of players and go, we're too good to go down. That every single team, more or less, in that group is a good team, probably too good to go down. Nobody is too good to go down because we've all said that everyone outside that top 6 at the moment, everyone's beating each other. It's really, really tight.
We're 3 points from 10th.
We're 2 points off bottom.
Yeah, I know. We're not a third through the season yet.
Jonathan, put your mouth near the put your mouth near the speaker. We're losing you a bit. I don't know if you've changed.
We're not a third through the season, Nick.
Mate,
honestly, what happens? Like you love these little thought experiments, Nick. What happens if you bring a new manager in and he loses his first 3 games? You're going to want him out.
No, of course I won't. Don't be stupid. I'm not that fickle. I've already said that. You said yourself when you came on. I'm not.
What are you going to say if we bring a new manager in?
When a manager comes in and he struggles with the team, then look, it's always a risk. But like I said earlier on, if you're in a relationship that you're not happy with, you don't stay in it just because in case the next one's going to be fucking worse. So you never know.
I don't think we're not happy in it.
I'm not happy. I'm abused. I feel like I'm abused in this relationship, Jonathan.
Well, hang on a minute. If you're not happy in a relationship, on your analogy, relationships, you'd be like, you'd balance it all up, wouldn't you? And you'd be like, what have we had? More good times or bad times?
Oh, look, the last 2 years, but you've heard me. If you watch a show, how many times do you say, and I say that hand on the heart, and I'm not being condescending, I will never not acknowledge how good the last 2 years have been.
Yeah, so
I will never not. No, listen, West Ham can't afford to get relegated. And I know you don't think we're in a relegation battle. The last 10 months, the points haul in the last 10 months says that we are very much in a relegation battle, unless David Moyes can turn it around and we start getting better results and better performances.
No, listen, I don't argue with your logic. You're not talking bollocks.
Yeah.
Honestly, I wouldn't be.
Don't ruin it, Jonathan. Don't ruin it.
Yeah.
I think you've got a good point, and I'm open to even being like, in 3-4 weeks' time, phoning up and going, "Oh, do you know what, mate? You was absolutely right."
Yeah, but I don't want to be right. That's not the reason I do it. It's not about being right. It's just a concern. Maybe I think what it is, and this is the thing.
I think you're just saying what you love the club, and you're saying you passionately believe it. It's fine, And
I think some people are just more patient than others. I'm not very patient when it comes to managers. I think managers provide a function for me, like a player.
One thing is, sorry, Nick. The reason why I'm patient. The reason why I'm personally patient with David Moyes is not necessarily because of the last 2 years, although that's a big part. When he first came in, and this is where I think me and you differ, and I respect you for this. Yeah, you weren't a fan of his appointment. Yeah.
No, I weren't. I'll admit.
Hang on. But I was a fan of his appointment. Yeah. Because of the reasons I stated earlier. I looked at his body of work at Everton, and I was like, bloody hell, if this guy gets a resurrection here, which I saw it as a phoenix, I thought, Jesus, this guy's got a lot to prove. And I've looked at it and thought, bloody hell, he's proven it. So I'm just not ready to give up on someone with that.
And I respect that. I respect that completely. Yeah. I do get it.
I think Jonathan's right. I think in the main, the fan base weren't impressed with Moyes' first or second time around being appointed. Maybe more so second time around. And I think that he, we've said it last season. I said it till the cows come home. He's almost overachievement, and people don't like that word, but he's overachievement with a small, aging, contract running out of squad, if that's the phrase I want to try and find out.
Yeah.
was an overachievement, and I still think that in a way he's become a little bit of a result of his overachievement with what he had available. And I've said that before. And
I agree with that.
And I think Jonathan's 100% right in so much as, for me, it's not because I enjoy the style of play. I want a better style of play. I want us to be more proactive, especially at home. I want us to take the game to teams, like I've said time and time again.
Yeah.
But I truly believe that this is a different situation to coming in and saving the team from relegation. I think he has the players behind him. And look, at the end of the day, we're in a relegation battle now, but we're still in a relegation battle with 11, 12 other teams at the minute because it's so tight. So,
yeah, and that I won't argue with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's obvious. You look at that. We can all see the table. We get one win. We're up near 10th. We're not far off. There is that. But
we all agree we want a better style of football to some extent. So we're not.
That's the thing for me.
From the wrong. We're not.
That's the thing for me. It ain't just about. It ain't just. It's like against Bournemouth. For instance, last point, Jonathan, and then we'll move on. So against Bournemouth, do you care about the performance or do you just want the points? Because if we're not in a relegation battle, then surely it don't matter, does it? So a performance.
Oh, no, I understand what you're saying. No, it does matter. It does matter. Truthfully,
we're not in a relegation battle though. So what does it matter?
You always want the points, Nick. But
if you can't go out and perform against Bournemouth at home, then when can you?
You didn't word it like that.
I'm not saying. Hang on, Nick. I'm not saying we're not in a relegation. Hang on. I'm not saying we're not in a relegation battle.
You just did. You said we're not in a relegation battle.
Hang on. I'll flip it on you.
Go on.
If I think that all of a sudden, which is not going to happen, David Moyes decides, right, I don't mind if we lose games as long as we're playing well, then I will think we're in a relegation battle. We need to get the win against Bournemouth. If we win 1-0 from a deflected goal, I'm not stupid. I'm going to look at that as, thank God we got the result, but my God, he needs to do something.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
If we lose that game 3-0, if we lose that game and play well, I'm going to be very, very concerned. Very concerned. We need to get those 3 points. We have to. 3 points is the most important thing in that game.
If we play well, now Jonathan, player for player, we're better than Bournemouth. If we play well, unless a freak occurrence happens, like Liverpool losing to Forest, we win that game. That's nine times out of 10. No, but 9 times out of 10, when a better team plays a worse team, if the better team plays well, the better team wins. Yeah. You do get the odd occurrence.
It's quite simplistic.
It is it is simplistic though, but that is often the case. If we go against Jonathan, if we go what?
If that's the case, we might as well just do a predictive whoever wins, and it's football, isn't it?
No, I'm not saying. I'm not saying that. I'm saying if for instance Man City, if we go up against Man City and they are at their very, very best and we're at our very, very best, who wins that game?
Yeah, but the differences are huge. Man City compared to us and us compared
to
I
think the differences between our squad and Bournemouth's is fucking huge on paper.
I do as well, but when you've got to throw in confidence and all the other stuff that's going on, we should beat Bournemouth. Don't get me wrong. If we don't beat Bournemouth, I'm going to be very upset. I'll be you get me on the show. I've
got your number. I'll phone you. I'm going to get you back on tomorrow if we lose. I'll phone you up.
If we don't beat Bournemouth, I'm going to be very upset. But
I'll be doing this to you.
A win.
I'll be doing that to you.
A win.
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit there thinking, oh, what if we don't beat Bournemouth? Oh, I'm going to be so angry.
No. Look, I'll get that. Look, listen. At the end of the day,
your question was, you had a good question. We need to beat Bournemouth. If we win from a deflected goal off someone's backside, I'm going to be relieved, but I'm also going to be concerned by the style of football.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to lie about that. Being concerned about something and then being like, it needs to be sacked, we're going down.
I'm not. No, you wouldn't sack him after a win. But no, look, it's a moot point anyway, because I genuinely believe. I do. I'm confident we're going to beat Bournemouth. This is why you
probably get so angry.
No, but I'm confident we're going to beat Bournemouth. I am. I think we will, and that's why I think we could. Jonathan checks in the post. But no, honestly, mate, listen, it's been very good. It's been nice to have someone phone up with the other side of the coin as well. Yeah. And you put a really good argument across, mate. Really, really well put.
Thank you very much, guys. I've loved it, mate. I'll speak to you again soon.
Take care. Speak to you again soon. Cheers, Jonathan. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, Jonathan.
Bye.
Jonathan does sound a little bit like Russell Brand, though. I did get that.
A lot of people said it in the chat. A lot of people said he sounded. Look, does he have a bookie wookie?
Yeah. It's good. Now, to be fair, it's good caller. Good caller.
Yeah, he was.
And the thing is, look, he's obviously he wanted to get all of his points out because he's been hearing an awful lot of negativity that he probably doesn't agree with. So he just wanted to try and get it across, and he did get it across. The points that he made were factual. But like I say, it's all historic as far as I'm concerned. It's for me. It's all about the here and now. It's all about the here and now.
He was extremely articulate. I think that's why people are kind of comparing him to Russell Brand. You know.
Yeah. No, he was good. He's a good caller.
Explained himself well.
Which is quite surprising considering he's from Stratford.
Yes.
Mind you, it's freshly gentrified around now.
He might have a big beard and ride a Brompton. We don't know.
You know.
Where are all those avocados?
Yeah.
No, he was a great caller.
He was a good caller. Really good caller. No, definitely phone back in, mate. That was good. That was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, but no, look. Again, a lot of you are not going to like it because, and that's the thing. It's good to have, because look, there is an argument for both sides. There is. Nothing has changed my mind. I still think the same. But that's the thing. I don't discredit someone when they put forward an argument like that. I don't, because there is an argument for it. But what annoys me sometimes is when people discredit my argument, because I do try and justify what I'm saying to a degree. You do. I don't just come out and go, Moyes is a fucking shit, got to get rid of him. I don't do that.
I know you don't, but when people try to discredit your argument, then you do go.
Then I go, yeah.
Which is why people.
I didn't with Jonathan. I let him have his say. That was good. It was good. Very good caller. Made it entertaining. But no. So go on, John. You was going to say something to Jonathan, but you couldn't get out. Do you remember?
I can't remember now.
Is it kind of you lost your train of thought?
He spoke very well. To be honest with you, mate, he could have literally He could have read a script. That was like
he was good. He was good. Yeah,
he was very good. And I thought he was. Go on, Gal.
So I was saying that was next time David Moyes goes for a job interview, he needs to take Jonathan with him, because no one will put a better pitch forward than than Jonathan.
No, if David Moyes needs a PR agent, I think Jonathan would be
Stratford.
Jonathan from Stratford would be very, very good. Like I say, I do say the same thing. I think, and it goes back to that point earlier on, John, where you say you can't join two seasons together. You can't make that comparison. Maybe you're right, but then my counter to that is, well, don't use the past to justify the present. Don't use what he's done in the past.
But we both sides do it, don't we? Let's be honest. Not me and you. Both sides of the argument. Will use what's gone in the past to back up their argument or their opinion. It's natural. Yeah. So you've got to accept it both ways. I agree.
And the thing is, look, it ain't even about wanting to be right. Do you know something? Because there is always a risk. You're right. There is. Oh my God, Nigel's proper on it.
No, it's because Ralph in the Sun's put a comment where he says, Nick,
majority don't agree.
I know. Well, I know. Nigel believes that he is the voice of West Ham, doesn't he? So
he called you the voice of treason earlier.
I know he did. Yeah, I know. But not Nigel. In Nigel's head, Nigel thinks that everyone at West Ham thinks like Nigel. That is literally what he thinks.
I don't think Nigel.
He does.
Yeah, but does Nigel think much differently to me?
No, he does. Yeah, he does think differently.
No, he doesn't. I don't think he does. He would. He does. In what way? He wants. He would enjoy. Listen. He want. If you gave him the choice of playing slow football or more attacking football, he would choose the more attacking. But what? So where's the difference there between me and him, really?
No, but look again. It doesn't come down to right or wrong. And do you know something?
It's not right or wrong.
But what I'm saying. No, but listen. This is the thing. And this is where sometimes I've been accused as well, when I have been, of people saying you want West Ham to lose to back up your argument. Now that's fucking insulting, and it actually is, because I would never ever wish West Ham to lose to back up my argument. There is nothing I would like more than to be proved wrong on David Moyes, and for him to just do what I've been begging him to do and turn it all around, so that we haven't got to go through the rigmarole of getting another manager in and the risk of getting another manager in. But I just don't see it working with him.
But whilst I don't think you want us to lose games, and whilst I don't think you want us to get relegated, is there an argument where if we play shit football, he wins the next two games, and it just prolongs the agony?
No, that prolongs. No. Look, listen. There is an argument for that. There is an argument for that. But that doesn't mean that when the game is being played, I want West Ham to look. Listen, maybe at the end of the game, you might look back here and you might think, oh, fuck it, because you're getting fed up again. But at that moment, building up to the game, and when the game is going on, I support my team.
I think it's valid in that situation as well.
I know you support your team. I know you do.
I think it's valid. So I just read John thing saying I'm ready for bed. Yeah, I pretty much am. I'm really hungover. Really hungover.
Too much bingo over the weekend. Bingo and booze.
But I'm just saying, you know, you can be unhappy with the style of football. You know, it doesn't mean you know, and again, that doesn't directly mean that you want the manager gone. You know, you could be like Nick and dislike the brand of football, but still be quite happy for the manager to stay. There's so many different variations.
There are.
On
Everyone
this
likes
theme,
different
right?
things. Everyone likes different things, you know. But that is literally just my opinion. I kind of I just want yeah, I don't know. Hopefully, like I say, hopefully you can all fucking rub me nose in it in 3 months' time and say there you go, boom. You know, we're seventh in the table. We're in the semi-final of the Europa League conference. Everything's looking rosy. That would be fucking brilliant. It would. I just don't see it. I don't see it.
I'll deny ever having a doubt if that happens as well.
Yeah, I won't. I've always. Yeah. 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 I won't. I'll own it.
Well, I think we're going to wrap up any minute now. So just before we do, there's a comment that I wanted to go back from Doogie Montana. It's his boy's 21st. Please give a big shout out to Joe. Sorry. So happy birthday to Joe.
Happy birthday, Joe. Happy
Montana.
21st.
Good name.
That is a top name,
Happy
actually,
21st.
isn't it?
It's a good name, yeah.
And then he ruins it by just coming out with this. It's pissing down outside. I mean, what has that got to do?
It is.
Yeah, I know, but what's he? Jesus Christ. All right, then. You want to wrap up? Who's wrapping up?
Go on, Gal. You can wrap up.
All right. Thank you all for joining. Thanks for all your lovely comments. It's been a good show, actually, isn't it? Been going for a couple of hours again. It's becoming a regular long stint on a Sunday night.
Well, the callers make it better, I think, because it's good.
Yeah, it's good to chuck a few callers in there. 2 good callers as well.
Really good. Yeah.
So thanks for all your comments in the chat. Cheers, Nick. Cheers, John. And we'll be back for some daily rambles this week. We've got. Oh, you're doing a watch along tomorrow, aren't you, Nick?
I'm not doing a watch along. I'm doing a post-match live review with a special guest.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Excellent. All right. So tune in for that tomorrow, and then we'll do some rambles in the week, and we'll be back to talk about Silkeborg. It's a busy week, isn't it? Silkeborg on Thursday. Yeah. So until then, see you next time. See you soon, and come on, you irons.
Come on, you irons.
Come on, Moyesy.